at the Junior Beast Taming School, where the students are reminded of the upcoming Beast Master exam, scheduled to take place in less than a week. Tomorrow is the crucial day of the Beast Master Qualification Assessment. Inside the classroom, the teacher addresses the students, congratulating them on forming contracts with their first beasts. He emphasizes the importance of resting well and preparing thoroughly to achieve good results. After delivering his advice, he dismisses the class. Later, a group of students discusses the upcoming assessment. One student expresses his nervousness, while another reassures him, saying their current skills might still allow them to qualify as apprentice Beastmasters. However, the challenges of advancing to the higher Beastmaster Academy remain daunting, and some students don't even dare to dream about it. Meanwhile, a confident boy shares his ambitions. He aims to join the Beastmaster Academy in Ninjeong City. Though he acknowledges it's not the top-tier academy, he feels his abilities are sufficient to secure admission. In contrast, another student worries about failing the apprentice exam, fearing a life of mediocrity if he doesn't succeed. Our boy Lin Zi reflects on the Beastmaster Qualification Assessment, knowing it will be held soon. He is a time traveler who entered this world just a week ago by traveling through time and space, taking over this body. As he sorts through the memories of his new host, he learns about the dark history of this world. Hundreds of years ago, during a catastrophic event, dimensional rifts opened, unleashing hordes of ferocious beasts. Despite the overwhelming threat, humanity fought back with resilience. Through brutal battles, they eventually discovered ways to tame these beasts, turning them into powerful allies for survival and combat. From the chaos of the past, the Beastmaster profession emerged, becoming a key force on the world stage. These individuals gained recognition for their ability to tame and control powerful beasts. In this era, beast tamers were revered as symbols of power, status, and authority. For anyone who aspired to elevate their societal standing, becoming a beastmaster was the ultimate goal. It was not just a profession, it was a ticket to the elite class of society. For the younger generation, their dream was clear: to become a spirit master, wielding immense strength and influence. In this world, once individuals turned 18, they were eligible to form their first contract with a beast. The strength of their soul determined the level of the beast they could tame. Those with stronger souls had access to more powerful creatures, setting the stage for their rise as formidable beastmasters. He reflects that all the grand opportunities of being a beastmaster don't really apply to him. Before he took over this body, the original owner had already formed a contract with a harmless little snowball beast that could only act cute. Frustrated, he realizes that the beast is not only non-lethal, but also incapable of evolving. It's a far cry from the powerful beasts that most beastmasters use to rise in status and power. This leaves him questioning if he's destined for an ordinary, mediocre life in this world. Feeling cheated by fate, he laments how others who time travel gain immense powers or world-destroying abilities, yet his own situation is so lackluster. He wonders why he ended up with such misfortune after coming to this world. As he broods over his unfortunate situation, a group of classmates approaches him. They mockingly tell him to stop worrying about becoming a beastmaster, suggesting that an ordinary office job would suit him just fine. They taunt him further, joking that he could use his harmless little snowball beast to sell ice cream at a mall entrance. They remark about selling iced mineral water, leaving Hid visibly angered. He glares at them but keeps his composure. Just then, a system begins to activate. A screen materializes before him, declaring that the achievement system has been successfully launched. Surprised and excited, he realizes this might be his long-awaited gold finger, the cheat ability often granted to travelers in other worlds. He wonders if it took so long to appear because it was charging, but now everything could change. He is thrilled as the system activates fully, exclaiming that the heavenly sound of its arrival feels amazing. His gold finger has finally appeared. The system displays his current stats. His physique and spirit levels are slightly below average. His pet beast is the little Snowball, and he has no achievements or techniques yet. The system explains its features. Achievements and bonus items can be earned for completing specific tasks. These achievement points can be used to enhance the growth of beasts, unlock skills, and improve Beastmaster attributes. He is particularly thrilled at the idea of earning points and sees it as a game-changing opportunity. He turns his attention to his pet beast, Little Snowball. The system reveals that it has the Ice attribute, a Rank 1, Stage 1 beast. Its growth rate is currently 23.48%, and it possesses a skill called Cold Air Breath. Additionally, it can grow through fighting or consuming energy-rich items, and once it reaches 100% growth, it will evolve. He learns a crucial detail about Little Snowball. When its growth reaches 100%, it can trigger evolution. This revelation shocks him, as he had assumed that evolving was impossible for his pet beast. Curious, he delves deeper into the system's information. It reveals two possible evolutionary paths for Little Snowball. Giant Route. This path focuses on enhancing melee combat capabilities and physical strength while sacrificing control over ice elements. The next form, the Snow Monster, can evolve up to rank 5, making it a formidable brute force fighter. Queen Route. This path amplifies the beast's talent for ice element affinity and spell casting abilities while weakening its melee attributes. The next form, the Ice Crystal Spirit, can evolve up to the King rank, granting it immense magical prowess. He is stunned to realize that Little Snowball, which was thought incapable of evolving, might actually possess a hidden evolutionary route. He reflects on the possibilities, thinking that if this is true, he might not have to resort to mundane jobs like setting up an ice cream stall after all. Instead, he begins to wonder if he truly has a chance to become a Beastmaster. The system confirms that the Queen route could lead Little Snowball to evolve into the Ice Crystal Spirit, a form capable of reaching the prestigious King rank. The conditions for this evolution include achieving a 100% growth rate and obtaining rare items like Ice Element Essence and Spirit Jade. Excited by the potential, he decides to take immediate action. He plans to use achievement points to upgrade Little Snowball and help it grow. The system lists several achievements, including contracting the first pet beast, passing the Beastmaster qualification assessment, and enrolling in a Beastmaster Academy. Each achievement offers rewards, but for now, only the reward for contracting his first pet beast is available to collect. He eagerly claims the reward, receiving 100 achievement points and a spirit crystal. With excitement building, he turns his focus to Little Snowball, determined to use the achievement points to help it grow. He initiates the process, channeling the points into Little Snowball. Bright lights engulf the little creature, and the system announces a level up. Little Snowball's stats improve. With a surge of energy, Little Snowball successfully evolves to rank 1, stage 2, achieving a 100% growth rate. He is thrilled, seeing proof that his efforts and the system's capabilities are real. He marvels at the results, exclaiming how the level-up process actually works. The system informs him that he has consumed 77 achievement points, leaving 23 remaining. Little Snowball appears slightly stronger, but the protagonist can't help but feel underwhelmed by the brief and dazzling special effects. He jokes that as an F-class beast, Little Snowball's status isn't entirely unjustified. The system reminds him that for Little Snowball to continue evolving, he'll need 20 Ice Element Essences and 1 Spirit Jade. These items are rare and expensive, making the task more challenging. Despite the obstacles, he is determined to gather the resources and advance Little Snowball further. He begins planning his next steps, securing money and heading to the pet shop to buy the materials necessary for Little Snowball's evolution. As he walks, one of his classmates mocks him again, taunting him about selling ice cream with his snowball. Ignoring the jeers, he calmly reassures Little Snowball not to take such insults to heart. With determination, he declares that tomorrow's Beastmaster qualification assessment will depend on their combined efforts, signaling his resolve to prove everyone wrong. However, the mocking classmate sneers, calling him trash. He snaps back, the classmate revealed to be a member of the powerful Zhong family, the second largest family in Zhongning City. He responds, saying the Beastmaster final exam will prove who is truly worthless. Zhong Hao taunts him further, claiming that someone with a useless beast shouldn't even bother. Another classmate joins in, laughing that he should stick to selling popsicles instead. A girl named Guan intervenes, warning Zhong Hao not to cross the line. Zhong Hao, recognizing her, pretends to back off but continues to insult Lin Zi indirectly. He mocks her for associating with someone he considers trash and implies she would be better off siding with someone of higher status, like him. He reassures Guan, telling her there's no need to argue with the bullies. He confidently states that they'll understand the truth when the time comes. Afterward, he informs Guan that he needs to visit the pet store to prepare for tomorrow's qualification assessment. She agrees to head home on her own, wishing him luck. As he arrives at the store, Lindsay is struck by the high cost of evolution materials, lamenting how months of savings disappear in a single purchase. Returning from his errands, he is greeted by Guan, who invites him over for dinner at her house. She mentions her mother asked her to extend the invitation. He agrees, saying he'll join later. As the conversation shifts, Guan hesitantly brings up the Beastmaster qualification assessment happening the next day. She asks if he will accompany her to the event. Lindsay calmly replies that he also needs to participate, surprising her. Excited, she encourages him to show up strong and make an impression, especially against Zhong Hao and his gang. He reassures Guan, confidently promising to handle the situation. She smiles, takes her leave, and he watches her go, determined to make tomorrow's assessment a turning point. Later, sitting at home, he reflects on the high cost of the ice element essence and spirit jade. Addressing little Snowball, he mentions that leveling up in the future will require even more resources. He lays out the materials, encouraging little Snowball to eat and evolve. Watching his pet beast consume the items, he gently reminds it to take its time, as no one will compete for the resources. Suddenly, little Snowball begins to glow and expand, signaling the start of its evolution. Surprised, the Lindsay exclaims, wondering if this is truly happening. A sudden glow from little Snowball. He steps back, surprised, as an overwhelming burst of energy surrounds them. Little Snowball begins to change, evolving into a new form. Amidst the dazzling spectacle, little Snowball transforms into the Ice Crystal Spirit, a Rank 2, Stage 2 beast. The system lists its new skills, including Icicle and Extreme Cold Domain, and reveals that its next evolution would be into the Snow Maiden, requiring even rarer materials to advance further. He is ecstatic, declaring the evolution a success. He proudly admires the Ice Crystal Spirit, realizing that this marks a turning point in his journey. He checks his pet Snowball's stats, and is surprised to see that its rank has directly jumped to Rank 2, Stage 2. This level of growth is unexpected since the average strength of pets at his school typically lies between Rank C and Rank E. Snowball radiates an icy aura that surprises Lindsay with its intensity. Holding it in his arms, he shivers and comments on how cold it feels. As he observes Snowball's surroundings, the icy energy continues to grow stronger, creating a frosty explosion around them. Lindsay realizes that Snowball's strength has increased far beyond his expectations, affecting even the environment around it. The achievement notification confirms Snowball's evolution, granting Lindsay 100 achievement points and a Strength Crystal Roman 11 as rewards for reaching this milestone. He reflects on the materials he used for Snowball's evolution. He notes that without the system prompt guiding him, no one would have considered feeding such rare resources to a weak pet beast. Confident in his decision, he activates the system to extract his rewards. 2 items materialize in front of him, a glowing spirit crystal and a strength crystal. The spirit crystal enhances spiritual strength, which determines the number and level of pets he can contract. The strength crystal boosts his physical fitness, a crucial attribute for survival. Without hesitation, Lindsay consumes the strength crystal. As he absorbs the strength crystal, a surge of power courses through his body. He feels a transformation beginning to take effect. His physique becomes visibly enhanced, surrounded by a powerful aura of energy. The system panel displays his updated stats. His physique has doubled from 1 to 2, his spirit from 0.8 to 1.8, and his spirit power from 80 to 180. Snowball's rank is confirmed as Ice Crystal Spirit, Rank 2, Stage 2, while his achievement points have risen to 123. Testing his newfound strength, Lindsay punches the air, feeling the cold no longer affect him. Instead, a steady stream of energy flows from within, marking a significant breakthrough in his abilities. He tests his enhanced strength by punching a wall, leaving a deep crack. He reflects on the importance of physical strength, even for those who rely on their pets. In dangerous situations, being physically strong can significantly increase survival chances. Meanwhile, Snowball clings to Lindsay's leg, making adorable noises. Lindsay smiles confidently and decides to take the next step in their evolution. Determined, he boldly declares, "Just go all in," and decides to use all his achievement points. As he channels his energy into Snowball, a radiant light surrounds them both. The system confirms the upgrade Snowball has reached Rank 1, Stage 2, with a 100% growth rate. He uses 123 achievement points, pushing Snowball to Rank 2, Stage 4, with a growth rate of 24%. Snowball now radiates an icy and confident aura, indicating its immense power. Lindsay smirks, confident about the upcoming evaluation. He knows the Advanced Association will be shocked by their progress. The next day, Lindsay walks through the bustling city streets alongside his sister Guan. She asks if he's ready, and Lindsay confidently replies that he's not only ready, but also determined to obtain the Beast Master qualification today. Guan beams with excitement, noting how motivated Lindsay has become. She comments that the old him would have never participated in something like this. He smiles and responds, "People will always change." Meanwhile, some students nearby notice them. One points out Guan, calling her a talented third-year student at Pinghai No. One middle school, and questions why she's always with someone like Lindsay, whom they consider a loser. Another student mentions that Zhu Hong confessed his love to Guan the previous day and was rejected. Frustrated, one girl expresses her disbelief, questioning what makes Guan so special and why others seem to admire her. One of the students hushes the others, reminding them to keep their voices down. Lindsay, overhearing their comments, reveals internally that Guan is his cousin. Despite being a genius and admired by many at Pinghai No, one middle school, Guan doesn't seem to care about others' opinions. As they walk together, Guan asks Lindsay if he really plans to use Little Snowball in the qualification assessment. Lindsay smiles confidently and assures her, "Of course, don't underestimate Little Snowball." Guan playfully suggests celebrating if they pass the assessment, and Lindsay jokingly hugs her, causing her to exclaim in surprise. She mentions a store she has wanted to visit for a long time. Suddenly, they are interrupted by a loud voice calling out to Guan, demanding her to stop. A young girl points at her, accusing her of stealing her boyfriend. Guan, unfazed, calmly asks, "Who are you? Who's your boyfriend?" Guan identifies the girl's so-called boyfriend as Zhu Hong. With disinterested, she recalls that Zhu had confessed his feelings to her, but she rejected him without hesitation. The girl, enraged, accuses Guan of seducing Zhu first, unwilling to believe her explanation. Unwilling to waste time, Lindsay steps forward and gently pulls Guan away, stating, "Let's go, we have more important things to do." Without any further interaction, the two walk away, leaving the others behind. As Lindsay and Guan turn to leave, the muscular man grabs Guan by the shoulder, stopping her in her tracks. He demands, "You don't take me seriously at all. Did I give you permission to go?" Guan, unbothered by his grip, narrows her eyes and coldly says, "Let go." A menacing aura surrounds her, causing the man to hesitate as fear flashes across his face. Enraged by her defiance, the man raises his arm, preparing for a strike as he attempts to intimidate her. As the man swings his enlarged arm toward Guan, Lindsay calmly steps in, effortlessly grabbing his wrist mid-strike. The unexpected move shocks everyone, including Guan, who watches in silence. The girl protests, yelling at her brother to stop playing around, adding insults about how useless Lindsay is. The man glares at Lindsay and mocks him, questioning if he's trying to play the hero. "Do you really think you can protect her? You should consider your own situation first." Lindsay's expression darkens as he glares at the man. In an instant, he counters the attack, launching the man into the air with a single, precise strike. The impact is so powerful it reverberates through the surroundings. The man crashes to the ground with tremendous force, shocking his sister, who screams, "Brother," as she rushes toward him. Lindsay stands unfazed as Guan watches from a distance. Lindsay adjusts his jacket with a calm demeanor and tells the onlookers, "I'm her brother. If you need something, just ask me." The man's frustrated and bruised. Guan, observing from a distance, clenches her fists in awe, thinking, "It turns out brother Lindsay is so good at fighting." Meanwhile, Lindsay marvels at his own strength. he remarks to himself. I didn't expect my strength would be this great after strengthening my physique. The man, enraged and humiliated, yells, deliberately seeking death. Don't blame me. He charges toward Lindsay, his arm glowing with a fiery blue energy as he prepares to unleash a powerful attack. As the energy builds up, the surroundings tremble, and a dazzling light bursts from his strike. Guan watches with concern, but Lindsay remains composed. Suddenly, the man's summoned beast, a ghost wolf, its spectral form exudes a chilling aura, and its system stats reveal it to be a rank 2, stage 1 beast. The man smirks confidently, pointing at his ghost wolf. He mocks Lindsay and Guan, saying 2 high school students like them could never compete against his rank 2 beast. Guan observes the situation, realizing her pet beast is only at rank 1, stage 7. Though she has some faith in it, she understands the huge power gap. She admits the chances of victory are slim but resolves to fight anyway, knowing there's no alternative. As Guan starts preparing herself, she notices Lindsay moving forward. Surprised, she calls out, asking him what he's doing. Lindsay glances back at her, confidence as he takes charge of the situation. Guan hesitates and asks Lindsay if he's planning to use Little Snowball and another plan she suspects. He confidently assures her not to worry, that her qualification assessment must not be jeopardized. He tells her to leave everything to him. The girl mocks Lindsay, ridiculing him for his so-called qualifications and how someone like him dares to speak so boldly. She urges her brother to take action and teach Lindsay a lesson. The man, unfazed by Lindsay's confidence, orders his ghost wolf to attack. The wolf charges forward with immense power. Lindsay steps forward, his hand glowing with power as he prepares to confront the ghost wolf. The ghost wolf leaps toward him with blinding speed. The wolf's attack connects with a burst of light. Suddenly, Snowball unleashes its ability. The surrounding air transforms into a domain of extreme cold, freezing everything in sight, including the ghost wolf. The girl and man are caught off guard by the sudden appearance of this powerful Snowball. Guan wonders aloud if this powerful entity could truly be Snowball. Lin remarks with a confident smile that Snowball has evolved, leaving Guan still in awe of its new power. The man commands it to strike swiftly. The ice beast surges forward, Snowball's transformation glowing with energy. She evolves into the ice crystal spirit. An icy attack icicle is unleashed, sending sharp, freezing shards toward the man's ghost wolf. The impact shatters the wolf's form into pieces, leaving the man stunned. He stares at the scattered ice fragments in disbelief, muttering, "Impossible," regaining his composure. The man yells at Snowball's master, Lindsay, questioning how a mere high schooler's pet, only at rank 1, stage 9, could instantly defeat his rank 2 pet beast. The man panics, realizing they've underestimated Lindsay's pet beast. He hurriedly tells his sister they need to leave, admitting their miscalculation. Before they can retreat, Lindsay blocks their path, calmly but firmly making it clear they aren't allowed to leave. The man and sister are frozen in fear as Lindsay unleashes a massive icicle attack, covering the ground in ice and leaving them stunned and powerless. The man, now completely overwhelmed, bows his head and apologizes. He admits his mistake and pleads for forgiveness, addressing Lindsay as Big Brother. Lindsay reminds him that his apology is directed at the wrong person. Realizing his error, the man turns to Guan, apologizing sincerely for his behavior. He assures her it won't happen again and vows to teach his subordinate a lesson for causing this mess. The sister watches her brother in disbelief, softly calling out to him, clearly shocked by his sudden regret. The man, frustrated with his sister's hesitation, scolds her and forces her to apologize quickly. As the situation de-escalates, Guan dismisses their apology, telling them to leave immediately. The man quickly agrees and grabs his sister to retreat. Lindsay, standing next to Snowball, who now looks stronger and more composed, he gives a slight nod, acknowledging the resolution. The man and sister hurriedly flee the area. Guan excitedly praises Lindsay, amazed at how he defeated a rank 2 ghost wolf. She asks how he managed it and wonders if Snowball, now the ice crystal spirit, can evolve further. Lindsay acknowledges her excitement, but reminds her they have little time and need to hurry to the qualification exam venue. Snowball cheerfully follows as Lindsay strokes her head, radiating confidence. in the Imperial Beast Association building, where a crowd has gathered. Among them, several onlookers marvel at the magnificent Origin Stone, a mysterious artifact central to their training and examinations. At the Imperial Beast Association, Guan and Lin Zi observe the Origin Stone. Guan marvels at its size, while Lin Zi notes that it doesn't seem extraordinary at first glance. As the qualification begins, Lin Zi reflects on the importance of this test. It's the final assessment of the year, and failure would mean losing the chance to become a Beastmaster. Determined, he resolves to succeed. A representative addresses the candidates, explaining the process. Each participant has received a bronze medal, with rankings low, medium, high, and superior indicating their level. These medals are the key to accessing the Origin Stone realm. The representative explains the rules. Candidates must choose the difficulty level of their challenge. Higher difficulties offer greater rewards but come with increased risks. The rewards include enhancements like increased spirit, physique, and pet growth rates, as well as unlocking additional pet slots. The Origin Stone displays the rewards for each level: low, medium, high, and superior, with superior offering the most significant benefits. The crowd reacts with mixed emotions. Some are inspired, dreaming of passing the superior difficulty, while others doubt their chances, knowing the difficulty of even the high level. One participant resolves to clear the lowest level and secure their promotion. Guan turns to Lin Zi, curious about his choice. Lin Zi remains silent, deep in thought, as he considers his decision. The examiner advises the candidates to carefully select their difficulty level, as it will affect their future development. Guan hesitates, contemplating her decision as she stares at the options on her medal. The Origin Stone displays the choices made by the participants. Most choose low and medium difficulties, while only one person selects high, and another dares to pick superior. The crowd reacts in disbelief, mocking the person who chose the superior level, calling it reckless. They doubt whether such a person can handle the challenge, laughing at their audacity. The crowd mocks the superior selection, joking that someone might have accidentally pressed it by mistake, calling the decision foolish. Meanwhile, Lin Zi, holding his medal, displays a confident smirk. He is determined, silently declaring that whoever challenges him will fail to apply to the Imperial Beast Academy this year. Guan notices Lin Zi selecting the superior difficulty and is shocked. She expresses her concern, warning him that failure would cost him the chance to apply to the Imperial Beast Academy this year. Lin Zi, however, remains confident, reassuring her with a calm smile that he knows what he's doing and has it under control. Nearby, the crowd starts speculating about the person who chose superior difficulty. They assume it must have been a mistake or that the person is overconfident and foolish. The examiner questions Lin Zi, wondering if he ignored the earlier advice to carefully consider his choice. Lin Zi, holding his medal, confidently states that his decision was made after careful thought. The examiner's demeanor darkens as he skeptically asks if Lin Zi truly believes he can pass the superior difficulty. Lin Zi, unfazed, firmly responds with determination in his eyes, "Of course." The examiner smirks, commenting on Lin Zi's boldness, acknowledging that young people often take risks. He then reiterates that all participants have made their selections. Turning to the group, he officially announces the start of the assessment. The candidates sit in meditation around the Origin Stone as a mystical energy begins to flow, enveloping them in preparation for their trials. The Origin Stone glows intensely, releasing a surge of energy that envelops the room. Each participant is surrounded by a sphere of radiant light, signifying the start of their individual trials. The examiner observes the participants on the stone's display, noticing their positions and energies. He specifically takes interest in Lin Zi, remarking that his choice and actions are intriguing. Lin Zi finds himself transported into a massive arena, realizing he has entered the virtual realm of the Origin Stone. The rules of the trial are explained. Any injuries sustained or the death of a pet beast within the virtual realm will not affect reality. This assurance allows participants to give their best without hesitation. Lin Zi smirks confidently, stretches his arms, and prepares to face the challenge head-on, ready to showcase his strength. Lin Zi notices a screen appearing in the virtual realm. The display indicates he has unlocked a system-related achievement. With a confident grin, Lin Zi remarks how convenient it is to access the system here. The screen confirms his reward: 100 achievement points and a spirit crystal. He taps the screen to claim the rewards, stating that the spirit crystal and points will be useful for the trials ahead. After claiming his rewards, Lin Z notices the system displaying an increase in his attributes. His stats have been significantly boosted, along with a notable enhancement in Little Snowball's abilities. Smiling confidently, Lin Z clenches his fist and thinks to himself that his chances of victory have increased dramatically. Just as he's relishing his newfound power, the sound of a large door opening catches his attention. A giant beast entering the arena. Lin Z and Little Snowball prepare themselves for the incoming challenge. A fire beast appears, its body glowing with flames. It's a rank 1 stage 7 pet beast, radiating heat and ready to attack. Lin Z observes it calmly, noting it doesn't match the high difficulty level they were expecting. The fire beast launches a blazing attack, spewing a fiery blast toward Lin Z and Snowball. Unfazed, Lin Z smirks and counters the attack with Snowball's evolved powers. He commands, unleashing ice crystal chains, which instantly freeze the fire's momentum. Snowball charges up its energy, surrounded by icy spikes, and launches a concentrated attack. The explosion of frost collides with the fire beast's flames, creating a massive burst of energy. The aftermath fills the area with frost and mist, and Snowball remains unfazed. It breathes out a chilling wind, freezing everything in its path. The frost spreads further, signaling Snowball's complete dominance over the fight. Lin Z stands confidently beside Snowball, remarking that his ice crystal chains prove to be far more effective than expected. Having cleared the first stage of the challenge, Lin Z and Snowball move forward. The doorway to the next stage opens, signaling that they've passed one of the 5 levels in the trial. In the next area, Lin Z encounters a new opponent, a skeletal bound in cloth, emitting an eerie aura. The being is identified as a rank 1 stage 9 undead creature, its hollow laughter echoing through the chamber. Lin Z smirks confidently, thinking to himself that while a rank 1 stage 9 opponent might be challenging for others, it's nothing more than a simple task for him. The examiner observes Lin Z's progress through the challenge, analyzing the situation on a large map that shows the arena and the ongoing battles. Back in the arena, Lin Z stands victorious with Snowball as the icy battlefield confirms their overwhelming power. The examiner comments smugly, addressing Lin Z. He points out that Lin Z's previous victory was merely due to an elemental advantage, hinting that the real challenges are yet to come. Lin Z and Snowball move forward, successfully completing the second stage of the challenge. As they step into the new arena, a shadow looms over them. A creature with glowing, hypnotic eyes appears, its presence radiating menace. The beast reveals itself a rank 2 stage 1 plant-type creature, towering with a twisted and unnatural form. The examiner observes Lin Z's progress through the challenge on a glowing map. He remarks to himself that Lin Z's pet beast is only rank 2 stage 1, and defeating the current rank 2 stage 1 opponent will be nearly impossible, even with great talent. In the arena, the plant creature launches an aggressive attack, aiming its sharp claws at Lin Z and Snowball. Lin Z, unfazed, counters with Snowball's ice chains. However, the plant creature smashes the ground with its powerful limbs, creating a devastating impact that shakes the battlefield. Taking advantage of the chaos, it uses its vines to entangle Snowball. Snowball remains calm, even as the plant beast charges in with glowing claws, preparing for a decisive attack. Meanwhile, the examiner watches. With a smug smile, he comments that while Lin Z might be strong for a freshman, his strength is limited. Back in the arena, Snowball activates the extreme cold domain, releasing a powerful wave of frost that freezes the surroundings and slows the plant beast's movements. The creature struggles against the overwhelming cold but roars in defiance. Lin Z smirks confidently and taunts, "Did you think we only have one skill?" Without hesitation, he commands Snowball to unleash another powerful attack icicle, intensifying their offensive against the plant beast. The plant beast roars as its body is pierced by multiple icy spikes from Snowball's icicle attack. The battlefield is now a frozen arena, with the creature trapped at its center. Snowball's frost spreads further, encasing the plant beast entirely in a solid block of ice. The plant beast, now fully immobilized, struggles in vain as more spikes of ice penetrate its frozen body, ensuring its defeat. With Snowball's final attack, the plant beast is completely frozen and defeated. Lindsay calmly declares the battle over, signaling the end of the third level. The frozen arena stands as a testament to their victory. A notification appears confirming that Lindsay has successfully cleared the third level, leaving only 2 levels remaining in the challenge. Elsewhere, participants who failed the earlier stages express their frustration. One complains that he was so close to defeating the pet beast, while another laments his failure to pass this year's challenge, burying his face in his hands. Amid the group of participants, one excitedly celebrates his success, exclaiming that he's now an apprentice beastmaster. He didn't expect the initial challenge to feature a rank 1 stage 6 pet beast, but he managed to overcome it. Meanwhile, others watch in frustration. One participant clenches his fists and mutters his dissatisfaction, lamenting his failure and comparing his performance to those who succeeded. Someone notices the next challenge, a vicious claw beast. The announcement stuns the crowd, who recognize it as a rank 2 pet beast. Murmurs of disbelief ripple through the room as they question why such a high-level beast would appear in the apprenticeship assessment. The 4th level ends with a decisive victory for Lindsay and Snowball. The frozen remains of the opponents stand as proof of their power. Onlookers exclaim in amazement, recognizing Lindsay as the one who challenged the superior difficulty level. With the 4th level cleared, the final stage of the challenge begins. Lindsay confidently remarks that they've reached the last level. In the observation area, participants watch in disbelief, questioning why Lindsay is so powerful. One mentions they know all the top students from the local high schools, but Lindsay's strength seems unmatched and unfamiliar. Meanwhile, Guan happily celebrates her own success, announcing that she's now an apprentice beastmaster. However, her thoughts immediately turn to Lindsay, wondering about his progress and eagerly anticipating his performance in the final stage. The crowd gathers around the monitor, awestruck by Lindsay's performance. Cries of admiration echo through the room as they acknowledge his strength. Guan, watching closely, realizes that Lindsay has cleared the 4th level on superior difficulty. She clenches her fists in excitement, calling it incredible. As the final stage begins, the roar of the beast resonates through the arena. A massive saber-toothed lion emerges. Its sheer size and ferocity shock the onlookers. "It's a rank 2 stage 5 beast," someone exclaims in disbelief. Others remark how impossible it is for a newcomer to defeat such a creature. Guan, though visibly concerned. Lindsay watches calmly as Snowball prepares for battle, commenting that he's finally facing a worthy opponent. Snowball summons another icicle attack, its sharp fragments shooting forward with incredible speed. The enemy's movements are lightning fast, making it difficult for Lindsay to track. He's caught off guard, realizing the speed of the saber claw assault as it closes in on Snowball. Snowball braces herself against the powerful attack, the clash sending shockwaves through the area as both sides fight for dominance. Snowball takes a direct hit, showing signs of wear as the intense battle continues. The trainer smirks, confident in his pet's advantage. He challenges Lindsay, curious if he has any new tricks left to show, while mocking that this might be the end for him. The saber-toothed lion charges forward, its ferocious aura overwhelming. Lindsay observes the fight carefully, recognizing the disparity in power. He acknowledges that while Snowball has the advantage of being at a higher stage, the outcome depends on various factors like attributes, environment, and strategy. Lindsay notes that Snowball is in a weakened state after consecutive battles, facing such a strong opponent with superior speed and power. The saber-toothed lion grows more ferocious, realizing it might actually lose if the battle continues like this. Lindsay calls out to Snowball, urging her to brace herself for the incoming attack. The lion lunges with full force, claws glowing with lethal energy, aiming to end the battle in one decisive blow. Watching closely, Lindsay stays calm but focused. As the lion charges, he recognizes the moment he's been waiting for. Now's the time, he thinks. Snowball summons a final icicle, releasing a concentrated burst of freezing power to meet the lion's charge head-on. The aftermath of the clash leaves a cloud of frost and dust hanging in the air. The saber-toothed lion lies on the ground, visibly injured, with icicles embedded in its body. In the crowd, spectators murmur in confusion. They speculate about the outcome, some wondering if it ended in a tie, while others question what exactly just happened. One onlooker points out the lion's condition, drawing everyone's attention. The saber-toothed lion struggles to move but ultimately collapses, its defeat becoming evident to all. Meanwhile, Snowball stands firm. Snowball's eyes glow intensely as it channels its energy into a powerful strike. The battlefield is filled with a burst of light as Snowball unleashes an overwhelming attack, aiming directly at the saber-toothed lion. The lion charges forward, attempting to counter Snowball's attack. Its paws meet the icy terrain, but shards of ice quickly form around them. Despite its struggle, the saber-toothed lion roars and pushes forward. Lindsay analyzes the situation, noting that the saber-toothed lion, being a beast adapted to extreme cold, has remarkable resistance to icy attacks. Despite his confidence, Lindsay begins to feel the pressure of the lion's resilience. A system notification suddenly appears, declaring a new achievement unlocked. The display reveals that Lindsay has gained 100 achievement points and unlocked a new skill feature. Intrigued, Lindsay wonders aloud about the meaning and potential of this newly unlocked ability, his mind already planning how to leverage it for the battle. Lindsay reviews the system panel displaying 3 new skills: a control-based ice lock, a defensive ice barrier, and an area-based ice spike attack. Each skill requires a specific number of achievement points to unlock, with varying growth potential. Surprised, Lindsay realizes he can equip more skills than expected, noting that most pet beasts are typically limited to just 2 basic abilities. He contemplates the strategic advantages of having multiple options in battle. Weighing his current situation, Lindsay decides that a strong single-target control skill is most necessary. He selects the Extreme Ice Lock ability, using 50 achievement points to unlock it, as the panel confirms his decision. The saber-toothed lion charges at Lindsay and Snowball with intense ferocity, its powerful strike aimed directly at its target. Snowball, standing firm, channels its energy to counter the attack. A dazzling light engulfs the battlefield as Snowball undergoes an upgrade. The system confirms Snowball has advanced to rank 2, level 7, increasing its growth rate to 54%. Onlookers, witnessing the radiant display from afar, react with surprise and curiosity. One exclaims, "What's with that light?" Another realizes, "It's an upgrade." The crowd is baffled by Snowball's sudden upgrade. Some speculate about the resources used, while others argue upgrades should only happen after securing a victory, leaving them suspicious of Lindsay's tactics. Lindsay, unfazed by their doubts, confidently gestures to the saber-toothed lion, inviting it to make its move. As the lion charges with renewed ferocity, Snowball activates the newly acquired Extreme Ice Lock skill. Chains of glowing frost encircle the lion, halting its attack mid-air and leaving it restrained. The saber-toothed lion struggles to break free from the icy chains of the Extreme Ice Lock, roaring in frustration. Lindsay channels his power and uses the Ice Spike ability. Shards of ice form above the lion and crash down with incredible force, piercing through the beast's defenses. The lion lets out a final roar as it succumbs to the relentless assault. The spectators are stunned by the display of power, murmuring questions about the mysterious skill and why it was so effective. The examiner and the crowd are in disbelief, questioning how Lindsay's pet can use 3 different skills, a feat uncommon for beasts of its rank. As the saber-toothed lion struggles to recover, Lindsay observes it calmly, commenting on its thick defenses. Snowball's eyes glow fiercely as it prepares another powerful attack. It channels its icy energy, shards forming around it. With determination, Snowball readies itself, showing it has no intention of letting the lion recover. With Snowball's final attack, the saber-toothed lion is completely subdued, collapsing onto the icy battlefield in defeat. Lindsay stands victorious alongside Snowball, their combined strength leaving the audience in awe. The system announces Lindsay's success, declaring his evaluation as completed at an extraordinary difficulty level. Guan jumps with excitement, cheering for Lindsay and celebrating his hard-earned victory. In the crowd, disbelief spreads. Some accuse Lindsay of bribing the examiner, unable to accept his unexpected win. Others speculate about his methods, still skeptical of his capabilities. The examiner, however, remains composed. He acknowledges Lin Zi's exceptional talent, remarking that while he's seen many young beast tamers, none have impressed him as much as Lin Zi with his silent yet commanding performance. After the battle, Lin Zi's stats receive a significant boost, reflecting his successful completion of the challenge. Snowball's status is displayed, now ranked at level 3, stage 1, with an impressive 84% growth rate and mastery of 3 powerful skills. The examiner, still observing, acknowledges the extraordinary difficulty of the test and how much Lin Zi's capabilities have grown as a result. The performance leaves him and others deeply impressed. The system displays another notification. Lin Zi is now eligible to form a contract with a second beast, marking a major milestone in his journey. Lin Zi reflects on his next step, deciding which beast to form a contract with as his second companion. He considers his options, planning to visit a pet shop to explore the possibilities. The system announces Lin Zi's rewards, 200 achievement points and a spirit stone, acknowledging his successful completion of the trial. The notification also signals the conclusion of the evaluation. As the trial ends, Lin Zi opens his eyes, finding himself back in the real world. A crowd gathers around him, their silence filled with curiosity and astonishment at his extraordinary performance. Lin Zi sits calmly, unaffected by their reactions. Lin Zi finds himself surrounded by curious classmates, bombarding him with questions about how he accomplished such an extraordinary feat. They're particularly amazed by Snowball, an ice element beast they've never encountered before. Guan, overcome with joy, rushes to Lin Zi and hugs him tightly, exclaiming how she always believed he would succeed. Lin Zi, initially surprised by her reaction, smiles warmly. The examiner approaches Lin Zi, acknowledging his impressive performance. As the surrounding crowd watches, students murmur in surprise. It's rare to see an examiner apologizing to a student. However, Lin Zi remains calm and unbothered. The examiner directly addresses Lin Zi, offering him a spot in the Beastmaster Association. He further explains the benefits, mentioning that Lin Zi could secure a high-ranking position with exclusive privileges. Even top graduates don't easily receive such offers. Guan, standing beside Lin Zi, urges him to accept, recognizing the rarity of this opportunity. The competition for a spot in the Beastmaster Association is intense, like crossing a narrow bridge against thousands of others. Lin Zi considers the offer. Accepting would mean all his academy expenses, including tuition and living costs, would be covered. It would also raise his status in everyone's eyes. However, he knows there's no such thing as a free lunch. Opportunities like this always come with hidden costs. Facing the examiner, Lin Zi politely declines, stating he has already made up his mind and will decide his future after graduation. His firm response leaves the examiner and the surrounding students momentarily stunned. After Lin Zi declines the offer, another student eagerly steps forward, asking if he can take the spot instead. The examiner ignores him, his focus still on Lin Zi. He recognizes Lin Zi's rapid growth and realizes that in the future, Lin Zi will be even stronger and able to negotiate for much greater benefits. Seeing Lin Zi's firm decision, the examiner doesn't press further. Instead, he tells Lin Zi that if he ever changes his mind, he's welcome to find him anytime. Before leaving, the examiner introduces himself as Genuine, leaving his contact as a final gesture. After the examiner leaves, Lin Zi stands confidently. Guan watches him closely, her expression unreadable. The two walk through the academy courtyard, when suddenly a voice calls out to them, asking them to wait. Lin Zi and Guan turn around, surprised. A girl excitedly approaches, introducing herself and her companion. She mentions they are from the neighboring class, eager to meet Lin Zi. The two girls eagerly approach Guan, asking for Lin Zi's contact information. Their excitement is clear as they try to get closer. The girl confidently hands Lin Zi her phone, suggesting they add each other as friends, mentioning that they've admired him for a while and hope to spend more time together. She introduces herself as a student from the neighboring class and congratulates him, clearly trying to make a good impression. However, Lin Zi casually smiles and excuses himself, saying they have other things to do. Guan, standing beside him, crosses her arms, visibly annoyed by the situation. As Lin Zi and Guan try to leave, the girl chases after them, still insisting he add her as a friend. Lindsay, without looking back, dashes away, leaving Guan visibly irritated by the situation. Shortly after, Lindsay receives a message summoning him to the office. He glances at his phone and sighs before heading there. Arriving at the office, Lindsay peeks inside and asks if he was called. Inside, a confident and elegant woman greets him. She leans back in her chair intrigued, and mentions that she heard he successfully passed an extremely difficult trial. Lindsay hesitates for a moment, observing the teacher's expression. Before he can react, she suddenly pulls him into a tight hug, excitedly praising him for his achievement. He momentarily recalls past experiences with her harsh punishments for failing tests, making him cautious about her enthusiasm. Regaining her composure, she moves on to the real reason for calling him. She takes out a book, stating that it's something important she intends to give him. Lindsay takes the book, examining its title with curiosity. The teacher explains that it contains essential techniques for soul arts, a crucial skill for Beastmasters. She advises him to start learning early, as it will be a mandatory part of his training. A visual representation illustrates that soul arts are the primary combat method for Beastmasters aside from their pet beasts. She further explains that those who master soul arts can defeat beasts without relying on their pets. The technique can be used both for offense and defense, protecting Beastmasters from harm in battle. A visual demonstration shows a soul shield, a defensive technique that forms an energy barrier to block attacks. Lindsay, excited about the new knowledge, thanks his teacher and eagerly rushes off to start practicing. She reminds him that if he ever has questions, he can come back anytime. Later, Lindsay sits on his bed, carefully studying the book. He flips to a page detailing Soul Shield, which consumes soul power to create a full-body protective barrier against any incoming damage. Lindsay sits in his room, deep in thought. He knows mastering the basics early will give him an advantage when he enters the Beastmaster Academy, allowing him to focus on advanced techniques. Determined, he begins meditating, channeling his energy as a powerful blue aura swirls around him. His eyes glow with intensity as he activates Soul Shield, successfully forming a protective barrier around his body. The shield stabilizes, radiating a strong defensive energy. His training is already showing results. Lindsay observes his shield, realizing he has already grasped the basics. Most people take days or even months to learn soul arts, but he mastered it in just 10 minutes. His 7-8 spirit physique proves to be extremely efficient. Sitting within his shield, he notices a system prompt offering to upgrade his soul shield by spending 50 achievement points out of his 350. With a confident smirk, he confirms his system can enhance even soul arts. Lindsay checks his achievement points, noticing he has accumulated more than expected. The system prompts him, asking if he wants to spend some points to upgrade soul protection. Considering his options, Lindsay decides that survival skills should be upgraded in one go. Without hesitation, he selects the option, using a portion of his points for an instant enhancement. Lindsay activates Soul Protection, advancing it to the 3rd stage. A powerful barrier forms around him, radiating with energy as the upgrade takes effect. Feeling the difference, he notes that the shield is now stronger and much larger than before. He smirks, realizing it could easily cover multiple people at once, a significant boost to his defenses. Lindsay checks his soul power, realizing that activating Soul Protection only consumes a small amount each time. With his current limit, he can use it multiple times without worry. Remembering the Spirit Soul Stone he received from an achievement, he decides it's time to use it, thinking it might further enhance his abilities. After using the Spirit Soul Stone, Lindsay feels a surge of power. His soul power and spirit level increase significantly, boosting his overall strength. Looking at his current reserves, he realizes that using all this power just for defense would be wasteful. Deciding to make the most of it, he considers learning a few more skills to balance his abilities. Lindsay flips through a skill book, looking for useful abilities. He comes across Soul Arrow, a technique that focuses spiritual energy at the fingertips and fires it like a projectile. Turning the page, he finds Soul Impact, a close-range attack that condenses energy into a powerful strike. Seeing their potential, he considers learning both skills to expand his combat options. As night falls, the city is quiet, with only a few lights glowing in the distance. Inside, Lindsay closes his eyes, steadying his breath. A faint aura of energy surrounds him as he focuses, processing everything he has learned. Lin Zi's eyes snap open, a sharp golden glow flashing within them. Without hesitation, he launches forward, unleashing Soul Arrow at high speed. The energy projectile shoots out as he moves with precision, testing his control over the technique. Lin Zi fires Soul Arrow, watching as it shoots forward with precision. Though the attack isn't highly destructive, he notes its accuracy is impressive, making it a reliable long-range option. Satisfied with the test, he moves on to the next skill, Soul Impact. Clenching his fist, golden energy gathers around it. Lin Zi gathers energy into his fist, golden flames surging around him as he unleashes Soul Impact. The force explodes forward, sending shockwaves through the room. Testing its power further, he throws a punch, consuming 30 soul power in an instant. The impact is strong, confirming that this close-range attack will be a devastating addition to his arsenal. Lin Zi observes the aftermath of his soul impact, surprised by the sheer damage it caused. The wall in front of him is shattered, proving the technique's destructive potential. A system notification appears, informing him that he has successfully learned 3 soul techniques and has been rewarded with a soul recovery potion, which can instantly restore all his soul power. Lin Zi looks at the shattered wall, satisfied with soul impact's effectiveness. He decides to save his soul recovery potion for a crucial moment, knowing it could be a game-changer in battle. Feeling confident, he spends 100 achievement points to upgrade Soul Arrow and Soul Impact to level 2. With his skills now stronger, Lin Zi decides to save his remaining achievement points for emergencies. With his skills upgraded, he shifts his focus to his next goal, earning money to buy a second pet beast. The next day, he heads to the mission center, a place where trainers take on tasks to earn rewards. At the mission center, Lin Zi joins the crowd, scanning the available tasks. The screens display various missions, each offering different rewards. Confident in his abilities, he decides to start with basic level missions. Given his current strength, completing them shouldn't be a problem, and it's a good way to earn money quickly. Lin Zi scans the mission list, evaluating the rewards. The tasks range from eliminating ghost scorpions near a village to clearing mutant beetles in a canyon, with rewards varying from 10,000 to 40,000. Without hesitation, he selects the highest-paying mission dealing with the mutant beetles. If he's going to put in the effort, he might as well aim for the best reward. After selecting the mutant beetle mission, Lin Zi is notified that, as a beginner beast master, he has been automatically assigned 3 teammates for safety, and the reward will be split among them. Annoyed, he punches a training dummy, frustrated that he has to share the earnings. He was confident he could handle it alone. A mission map appears, marking the target location, Iron Bell Canyon. He needs to arrive before 2 p.m., ready for the hunt. Lin Zi arrives at Iron Bell Canyon, where his assigned teammates are already waiting. The canyon is rugged, with flags marking the mission site. A man with green hair, identified as Zhang Jin, a low-tier beast master, smirks upon seeing Lin Zi. Mocking him, he comments that Lin Zi took long enough to arrive and questions if he's even graduated yet. Another teammate, Zhao Mingxian, a muscular low-tier beast master, frowns upon seeing Lin Zi. He questions why they got stuck with someone inexperienced, clearly unimpressed. Before the situation escalates, Yu Zuyun, the only female in the group, steps in with a smile. She tells them to relax and not be too harsh on Lin Zi, lightening the mood with her friendly attitude. Yu Zuyun playfully tells Lin Zi to just follow her lead, reassuring him. Lin Zi responds with a relaxed smile, admitting that he hasn't graduated yet and will be relying on them for this mission. Zhao Mingxian sighs in frustration, accusing Yu Zuyun of flirting again. He warns the group that this mission might be tougher than expected and tells them to stay focused if they want to survive. Yu Zuyun, unimpressed by his serious tone, dismisses his concerns with a scoff. Zhao Mingxian takes charge as the temporary team leader, demanding that Lin Zi follow his instructions once they reach the mission site. He also warns that Lin Zi's reward share will be reduced, making it clear that he's not seen as an equal. Lin Zi, however, remains unfazed. Observing his teammates, he realizes they're not qualified beast masters but self-taught fighters who rely on basic summoning skills to survive. Lin Zi responds with a cheerful thumbs up, agreeing to work hard to earn his share. Satisfied with his response, Zhao Mingxian acknowledges him, thinking the newcomer understands his place. With that settled, the team heads into the canyon, ready to begin the mission. The team moves deeper into the canyon, the terrain becomes rough, and the path ahead is dark and foreboding. As they reach the entrance of a cavern, an eerie glow emanates from within. The sound of skittering echoes from the depths. Suddenly, mutant beetles emerge from the darkness, their glowing eyes piercing through the shadows. Among them, a larger, more menacing beetle appears. As the mutant beetles swarm forward, Zhao Mingxian quickly assesses the situation. He suggests collapsing the cave entrance to trap the insects inside, cutting off their escape route. Wasting no time, he summons his wild rhino, a rank 1 stage 6 beast, to lead the charge. The powerful beast appears, its glowing horns ready to smash through anything in its path. Zhang Jin steps forward, summoning his wind cutter mantis, a rank 1 stage 6 insect-type beast. Not to be outdone, Yu Zuyun summons her terror bee, a rank 1 stage 5 insect-type beast. With a smirk, she playfully reminds Lin Zi to stay behind her, as if protecting him. With their beasts deployed, the battle is about to begin. Lin Zi's group cautiously enters a tunnel, led by Yu Zuyun and Zhang Jin. They remain alert as buzzing echoes through the cavern. Strange insect creatures swarm ahead, signaling danger. Meanwhile, Zhao Mingxian observes from a distance. Without hesitation, he orders an all-out attack. Zhang Jin, responding immediately, summons his wild rhino, a rank 1 stage 6 beast. The massive creature charges forward. Zhang Jin steps forward with a confident smirk, summoning his wind cutter mantis. The green insect dashes forward, its sharp blades glowing as it slices through the swarm of enemies with precision. Zhang Jin commanding her venomous wasps to attack. With a determined look, she directs them into the fray, overwhelming the enemy with a coordinated assault. Yu Zuyun summons her terror bee, which immediately launches a barrage of venomous stingers at the enemy swarm. Meanwhile, Zhang Jin's wind cutter mantis slices through the remaining enemies, its sharp scythes cutting them down effortlessly. The battlefield is soon littered with defeated foes. Zhang Jin smirks confidently and turns to Lin Zi, boasting about how well they work together. Yu Zuyun smirks, brushing off any expectation of a reward. She tells the others to consider this a learning experience instead. Confidently, she instructs them to stay behind her and focus on their own safety. However, before they can relax, the insect swarm starts moving again, crawling back to their feet. Lin Zi observing the fight, he notes that their attacks have barely made an impact, and the real threat has yet to come. Suddenly, a loud screech echoes as another wave of insects emerges, rushing toward them at full force. Yu Zuyun suddenly tenses up. She instinctively questions what it is. Dark energy seeps into the battlefield, and the insect swarm undergoes a terrifying transformation. The ground trembles as a new wave of mutated insects charges toward them. From above, Zhang Jin's wind cutter mantis, Yu Zuyun's terror bee, and Zhang Jin's wild rhino prepare for battle. Zhang Jin's eyes widen as more insects emerge from the tunnel. He quickly realizes something is different, as if they're calling for reinforcements. Lin Zi, watching calmly, questions whether there's an even larger and stronger beetle king lurking deeper inside. Meanwhile, Zhang Jin's wild rhino charges through the swarm, but the mutated insects overwhelm it. One of them sinks its fangs into the beast, drawing blood, showing just how dangerous they've become. The mutated insects overwhelm Zhang Jin's wind cutter mantis and Yu Zuyun's terror bee, pinning them down. Zhao Mingxian yells for his wild rhino to retreat, while Zhang Jin desperately calls back his pet, fearing they'll be killed. Lin Zi explaining that the beetle's previous sound waves have a paralyzing effect. The pets can no longer respond to their commands. Hearing this, Yu Zuyun freezes in shock. She clutches her head, realizing her terror bee is completely vulnerable. Fear sets in as she struggles to think of a way to save it. Zhang Jin, furious, grabs Lin Zi by the collar, demanding why he didn't warn them earlier. His frustration erupts, blaming Lin Zi for just standing by and watching. But Lin Zi calmly pointing out that the real problem isn't their beasts, it's their own survival. Before they can react, the ground trembles as a massive swarm of mutated beetles emerges from the depths. Seeing the sheer number of enemies, Zhao Mingxian quickly makes the call they need to run. Zhao Mingxian, realizing the danger, shouts for everyone to run. Panic fills as he curses the mission, realizing it's far beyond what they expected. Without hesitation, he turns and sprints away, leaving the others behind. The mutated beetles chase after him, their sharp legs cutting through the ground as they close the distance. As he tries to escape, an explosion erupts behind him. The force sends him stumbling forward, and his eyes widen in fear something even more dangerous is coming. Just as the swarm is about to overwhelm them, Lin Zi calmly steps forward. A glowing barrier forms around the group, shielding them from the incoming attack. Zhang Jin watches in disbelief, recognizing it as soul art, a technique only students from the Beast Academy should know. Shocked, he questions how a high schooler like Lin Zi could use it. Lin Zi dismisses his questions. He tells them to stop talking and simply watch from behind him. Zhang Jin watches in shock, unable to process what he's seeing. Lin Zi calmly summons his ice crystal spirit. Both Zhao Mingxian and Yu Zuyan stare in disbelief. They have never seen a beast like this before. While the others are still in awe, Lin Zi analyzes the enemy calmly. The beetles, despite their numbers, are at most rank 1, stage 7, making them manageable. However, without any large-scale attacks, the others stand no chance of fighting back. With a confident smirk, Lin Zi reveals his true strength. Unlike the others, his ice crystal spirit is a rank 3 beast, possessing devastating area-wide attacks. As he raises his hand, his beast activates extreme cold domain. A chilling wave of ice spreads across the battlefield, instantly freezing the entire insect swarm in place. The once overwhelming horde is turned into an icy grave. Lin Zi glances back at the stunned group, casually reminding them that they still have a chance to retrieve their beasts if they're willing to abandon their rewards. Zhao Mingxian, Zhang Jin, and Yu Zuyan hesitate. The reality of their situation is now painfully clear. Zhao Mingxian, now overwhelmed, raises his hands in surrender. He offers all their rewards in exchange for safe passage, pleading to be allowed to retrieve their beasts and leave peacefully. Before a response comes, Zhang Jin steps forward, furious. He can't believe Lin Zi is still pressuring them even after proving his dominance. Mocking Lin Zi, he questions if he really thinks he's some legendary student who passed an impossible trial. Lin Zi's expression remains calm but firm. Without hesitation, he confirms his identity. Watching the exchange, Yu Zuyan processes the situation. Her suspicions were right. Someone like Lin Zi possessing such power didn't make sense for a regular student. Quickly shifting her approach, she urgently asks him to rescue their beasts. Zhang Jin, still furious, refuses to believe Lin Zi's strength. He demands they be released immediately so they can retrieve their beasts. Before he can continue, Zhao Mingxian suddenly strikes him, sending him crashing to the ground. He scolds Zhang Jin for his arrogance, making it clear that Lin Zi's power is undeniable. As Yu Zuyan watches, Zhao Mingxian admits their mistake. They had underestimated Lin Zi, and now there was no doubt about his strength. Meanwhile, the frozen beasts remain trapped in ice, their condition worsening as the chilling energy spreads further. Lin Zi observes the frozen beasts, noting that time is running out before they thaw. He warns the others to retrieve their pets quickly and leave before the creatures fully awaken. Yu Zuyan, concerned, questions what he plans to do. She points out that these beasts aren't truly defeated, just temporarily restrained. Lin Zi stands atop the icy battlefield with Snowball, surveying the frozen creatures. In the darkness below, an ominous presence stirs. Zhang Jin, still on the ground, watches Lin Zi closely. Suspicion flashes across his face. Could Lin Zi really be planning to enter that place? Without hesitation, Lin Zi instructs the others to act quickly before leaping down into the depths with Snowball. They descend into a dark underground space, the void stretching endlessly around them. Standing amidst the darkness, his enhanced physique allows him to see clearly even in the pitch-black surroundings. As Lin Zi moves deeper, a swarm of monstrous creatures with glowing eyes emerges from the darkness. Their sheer numbers make the cavern tremble. Without hesitation, Lin Zi activates a spiritual barrier, shielding himself and Snowball as the creatures lunge at them. The beasts charge with terrifying speed, but Lin Z doesn't flinch. He counters instantly, releasing a powerful spiritual impact that sends them crashing to the ground. One by one, the monsters fall under his relentless attacks, but the battle has only begun. A swarm of glowing-eyed creatures rushes toward Lin Z, their sheer numbers overwhelming. He quickly activates an ice barrier, blocking their attacks. However, as more creatures slam into the shield, cracks begin to form. Maintaining the barrier is draining his energy fast. Realizing he needs a different approach, Lin Z recalls his progress. So far there's still something he can use. A new system prompt appears before him, revealing an ice shield and a frost nova ability. These skills could turn the tide of battle. Lin Z checks his remaining achievement points, 150 left. Just enough. Snowball activates her newly acquired skills, her body radiating with icy energy. Her evolution grants her Ice Shield and Frost Nova, two powerful abilities. With Ice Shield, she can now move freely without relying on Lin Z's protection. Meanwhile, Frost Nova provides a devastating area-wide attack, perfect for clearing out the overwhelming enemies. However, Lin Z notes that for maximum impact, Frost Nova requires collecting surrounding ice energy, making it an ideal combination with Extreme Cold Domain. Lin Z commands Snowball to unleash her power. With an icy glow, she activates Frost Nova, sending shards of ice erupting in all directions. The creatures charging at them are instantly frozen mid-air, their movements halted. Cracks spread across their bodies before they shatter into icy fragments. Standing within the spiritual barrier, Lin Z ensures the area is saturated with ice energy. Now fully charged, Snowball gathers the remaining energy and prepares for a devastating final strike. With one last command, she unleashes Frost Nova at full power, engulfing everything in a blizzard of destruction. Snowball gathers an immense amount of ice energy, forming a glowing crystal at her fingertips. With a flick of her hand, she launches Frost Nova, sending a powerful surge of ice across the battlefield. The frozen wave engulfs the swarm of creatures, their bodies freezing solid before shattering into countless shards. Lin Z watches as the aftermath unfolds. A system notification appears: 50 armored insects eliminated. With a smirk, he acknowledges the sheer destructive power of the attack. Even the creature's defenses couldn't withstand it. Lin Z checks Snowball's status. She has advanced to Stage 2 of Tier 3, with 89% growth. One more push, and she could reach her next evolution, Snow Maiden. Observing the surroundings, Lin Z realizes that battling these creatures allows his pet to gain experience and level up. Though the process is slow, the sheer number of enemies makes this an ideal training ground. With Snowball on the verge of evolution, Lin Z considers pushing forward. But before he can decide, an eerie sound echoes from deeper within the cave. Both he and Snowball turn sharply toward the source. Deep in the cave, more armored insects emerge, their glowing eyes fixed on Lin Z and Snowball. Unlike before, these creatures move in formation, their aggression more calculated. Lin Z smirks, realizing the king of the swarm must be close. Meanwhile, outside the cave, Yu Zuyun, Zhao Mingshan, and Jiang Jin struggle to recover from their earlier defeat. Still catching her breath, Yu Zuyun insists they report the mission's dangers immediately. If they delay, Lin Z could be in serious trouble. Jiang Jin, still frustrated, dismisses Lin Z's situation. He insists they shouldn't waste time worrying about him if Lin Z chose to go deeper into danger. That's his own problem. Before he can say more, Zhao Mingshan knocks him down with a single strike, cutting off his complaints. Without hesitation, Zhao Mingshan turns and rushes forward, unwilling to abandon Lin Z just yet. Meanwhile, a new man appears near the mission site. Liu Da, a bronze-ranked beast tamer, surveys the area with a confident smirk. He seems intrigued by the ongoing battle and is ready to get involved. Zhao Mingxian and Luo Da move toward their destination, with Zhao Mingxian cautious about proceeding. Suddenly, Zhao Mingxian to stop, his gaze fixed on a Beastmaster badge, a sign of an elite opponent. Nearby, Yu Zuyun and Zhang Jin react in shock. Realizing their opponent's status, Yu Zuyun exclaims in disbelief, while Zhang Jin stiffens, understanding the significance of facing such a ranked Beastmaster. The Beastmaster badges appears, the rankings Bronze Beastmaster and Silver Beastmaster, both holding high positions among their kind. A Golden Beastmaster badge appears, signifying an elite ranking among Beastmasters, belonging to the top 3% worldwide. Meanwhile, Luo Da introduces himself as a Bronze Beastmaster, stating that he was sent by the association due to the increased difficulty of this mission. Yu Zuyun lights up with excitement, believing that with Luo Da's help, success is guaranteed. She eagerly asks if she can join him. Luo Da smirks and lifts her chin playfully, teasing her for being so eager to see what he can do. Luo Da smirks and confidently allows Yu Zuyun to follow him, granting her permission to join. Turning to Zhao Mingxian and Zhang Jin, he dismisses them, stating that they aren't qualified to come along. Both of them freeze in shock before quickly insisting that they have no interest in going anyway. Meanwhile, deep within an icy battlefield, a system notification appears, confirming an achievement Beast Slayer accomplishment, awarding 300 points and a Burst Seed card. The card's details reveal its effect, a temporary power boost, instantly raising a pet beast's rank by 1 for 60 seconds. Lin Zi examines the achievement screen, surprised to see a Beast Slayer title. He compares it to similar accomplishments and acknowledges the generous rewards. Without hesitation, he claims them. The screen updates, revealing that Ice Crystal Spirit has advanced to Stage 3, Rank 3, with 94% growth progress. With a satisfied smirk, Lin Zi notes that Snow Girl is now even closer to reaching the next stage. As he and Snowball continue moving forward, the eerie sound of shifting rocks echoes in the cave. Lin Zi narrows his eyes. His instincts tell him the enemy is finally revealing itself. A sharp claw pierces the ground, sending a tremor through the cave. Lin Zi's eyes widen as a massive armored insect appears before him, its glowing green eyes locked onto its next prey. Taking a step back, he mutters in disbelief, this thing is far bigger than he expected. Recalling the mission details, he realizes that the Bell Claw insect's crisis was reported only a week ago. That means this beast has recently evolved, making it even more dangerous. The Bell Claw insect lets out a terrifying screech, its status revealed insect type, rank 4, stage 1, marking it as a significant threat. Lin Zi quickly assesses the situation. If he retreats now, he'll leave empty-handed. That's not an option. He decides to take a risk, planning to drag this fight out strategically. Before he can act, a massive figure crashes down from above, radiating power. The impact sends debris flying, shaking the cave with overwhelming force. A rock golem suddenly charges into the battlefield, knocking aside smaller creatures as it lands with a heavy impact. From a distance, Yu Zuyun and the others spot Lin Zi and rush over, relieved to see him unharmed. Lin Zi reassures her he's fine but is surprised they returned. Noticing an unfamiliar face, he questions who the newcomer is. Luo Da smirks and tells Lin Zi to step back, warning him that this place is far too dangerous. He then reveals the true identity of their opponent, the Bell Claw Insect King, a feared creature of legend. The Bell Claw Insect King stands menacingly, its glowing green eyes locking onto its prey. It's an extremely rare rank 4 beast capable of controlling entire swarms. Luo Da immediately recognizes its significance. As Lin Zi prepares to engage, Luo Da stops him, insisting that he took on this mission alone, and that this boss belongs to him. Turning his back to Lin Zi, Luo Da smirks and asks if Lin Zi even knows who he's dealing with. Before the conversation can continue, the Insect King lunges forward, launching a devastating attack with blinding speed. Luo Da confidently faces the Bell Claw Insect King, his rock golem standing beside him. With a smirk, he questions what gives the creature the audacity to challenge him. The Insect King roars in fury and lunges forward, its razor-sharp claws gleaming as it prepares to strike. Unfazed, Luo Da casually watches as the rock golem intercepts the attack. Just as the clash intensifies, an unexpected move occurs. Frost chains suddenly form. binding the insect king in place. Lindsay stands with Snowball, casually observing Luoda, who acknowledges him as an apprentice beastmaster. Recognizing Lindsay's name, Luoda seems intrigued, recalling that he passed an advanced trial. However, he boasts about his own achievements, emphasizing his extensive combat experience and training beyond just trials. Lindsay brushing off the conversation, stating that he'll also reach that level soon. Luoda is momentarily stunned, trying to grasp Lindsay's confidence. Before the argument continues, Yuzuyun urgently shouts, warning them of incoming danger from behind. The Bell Claw Insect King spins violently, its massive claws slashing through the air. Luoda sighs, annoyed by the situation. He turns to Lindsay, telling him to watch closely. This is the difference between them. Activating his soul art, Luoda commands his rock golem, causing fragments of stone to float and merge. The golem's power surges, its fists now engulfed in flames, evolving to rank 4, stage 2 for a devastating attack. Lindsay watches in surprise, realizing that Luoda's soul art grants his beast a powerful enhancement. The rock golem, now strengthened, launches itself into the air, its fiery fists aimed at the Bell Claw Insect King. With a thunderous impact, the golem crashes down, sending flames and shockwaves across the battlefield. As the dust settles, the Bell Claw Insect King is seen struggling on the ground, momentarily weakened by the devastating attack. Luoda smirks, boasting that mastering a high-level enhancement soul art is not something just anyone can achieve. He turns to Lindsay, emphasizing the gap between their abilities. Before Lindsay can respond, the Bell Claw Insect King's eyes glow red, its body surging with energy. It lets out a deafening roar as its power spikes, unleashing a desperate horn charge assault. With terrifying speed, the Insect King barrels forward, its entire body wrapped in a crimson aura, preparing to strike. The Bell Claw Insect King enters a frenzied state, its power surging to a dangerous level. Its distorted form radiates an ominous aura. Luoda acknowledging the difficulty of facing such a powerful opponent. High above, Lindsay and Snowball launch a combined assault. Icicle Spear and a Spirit Charge strike the raging Insect King with full force. As the dust settles, the impact leaves deep marks on the creature's body. The Bell Claw Insect King charges forward at full speed, its body surging with chaotic energy. Lindsay and Snowball brace themselves as the monstrous beast approaches. Without hesitation, Snowball conjures frost chains, wrapping the creature in layers of ice to restrict its movements. The chains tighten, but the Insect King resists, letting out a piercing screech as its body trembles under the freezing grip. However, the beast retaliates, its body emitting a violent pulse, shattering the surrounding ice. Sensing the danger, Lindsay quickly reacts, calling for Ice Shield. A massive ice attack crashes down, sending shards of frozen energy toward the Bell Claw Insect King. Luoda watches as his beast struggles under the pressure. Realizing the situation is turning against him, he acknowledges how difficult this battle has become. The Bell Claw Insect King, refusing to be defeated, retaliates with a powerful counterattack, launching a fierce strike. However, before it can land a decisive blow, Luoda's rock beast charges in at full speed. The aftermath of the clash leaves the battlefield in ruins, smoke and debris filling the air. Yuzuyun, overwhelmed by the intensity of the battle, urges the group to retreat. She panics, insisting they'll all die if they stay any longer. However, Luoda refuses to back down so easily. Gritting his teeth, he declares that they must at least take down the enemy before thinking of their next move. But before he can act, Lindsay steps forward with determination. He tells the others to leave, he's staying behind to finish the fight. Luoda looks at Lindsay in disbelief, questioning his sanity. Even after seeing how powerless their strongest beast was against the enemy, Lindsay still wants to fight. He reminds Luoda that earlier, he claimed their strength gap was due to mastering high-level enhancement techniques. Luoda scoffs, admitting that's true, but demands to know what Lindsay plans to do about it. Instead of answering, Lindsay silently reaches out and activates a Burst Seed card. A golden aura surrounds Lindsay and Snowball as he activates the enhancement skill, causing their energy to surge. Luoda stares in shock, realizing that Lindsay also possesses soul enhancement techniques, something he didn't expect. Snowball unleashes a powerful enhanced ice attack, her energy exploding as she prepares for battle. Luoda and Yuzuyun are left speechless. Luo Da struggles to comprehend Lin Zi's true strength, while Yu Zuyun watches in disbelief. Lin Zi activates his Burst Seed card, unlocking a temporary boost that pushes his strength to stage 4, level 3. He notes that he only has 1 minute, but with his soul techniques, it should be enough. As the Bell Claw Insect King lunges at him, Lin Zi charges forward alongside Snowball, meeting the attack head-on. With a flick of her hand, Snowball unleashes frozen chains, wrapping the enemy in thick layers of ice. Lin Zi observes the change Snowball's evolution has significantly increased her skill power. However, he knows the effect won't last long and must act quickly. Lin Zi and Snowball unleash a synchronized attack. Golden energy bursts from Lin Zi's fist, while Snowball channels her freezing power. Their combined strike smashes into the Bell Claw Insect King, forcing it back as cracks spread across its armored body. With only seconds left on his Burst Seed card enhancement, Lin Zi delivers a final, decisive blow. His attack lands with explosive force, shattering the enemy's defenses. The Bell Claw Insect King lets out a final screech as it is engulfed in the impact, ice and fire colliding in a devastating explosion. Luo Da watches in shock, realizing Lin Zi is recklessly burning through his life force to sustain his soul power. He shouts for him to stop before it takes a serious toll on his body. Lin Zi checks his status and reassures the others he's only used half of his soul power, so there's no need to worry. Luo Da stares in disbelief. He can't believe Lin Zi still has this much energy left after such an intense fight. Yu Zuyun, equally shocked, begins to reconsider. Maybe Lin Zi truly has the ability to defeat the Bell Claw Insect King. Before they can react further, the wounded Insect King lets out a deafening roar, its body surging with energy for one final desperate attack. Snowball unleashes Frost Rebirth, sending an overwhelming surge of ice energy at the Bell Claw Insect King. The freezing blast engulfs the creature, forcing it backward as shards of ice pierce its body. The impact is immense, sending shockwaves across the battlefield. Luo Da instinctively shields himself while Yu Zuyun stumbles back in shock. The Bell Claw Insect King, now battered and frozen, trembles as it struggles to comprehend the sheer force of the attack. Yu Zuyun watches in shock, struggling to process what she just witnessed. Luo Da turns away from the battlefield, recalling an ancient legend, a war between divine beasts that once shook the world. He speaks of the 5 elemental beasts, powerful creatures that were said to have vanished after the great battle. The vision of these legendary beings flickers in his mind, their overwhelming presence lingering as if they were never truly gone. Meanwhile, Lin Zi clenches his fist, his enhancement timer ticking down to 30 seconds. Without hesitation, he moves in for the final strike, declaring the fight is about to end. Snowball gathers an immense amount of ice energy, the air around her freezing as countless ice shards take shape. The Bell Claw Insect King scurries through the tunnels at high speed, trying to escape. But from above, Lin Zi charges down with immense power, alongside Snowball. Their combined attack strikes with blazing energy, an explosion of blue and orange light crashing down onto the insect. The Bell Claw Insect King is left smoldering, its body damaged and weakened, steam rising from its battered form. A system prompt appears announcing the first boss kill. Lin Zi has officially defeated the Bell Claw Insect King. Yu Zuyun runs up excitedly, cheering for Lin Zi after his victory. She praises him like a hero, thrilled by his performance. Meanwhile, Luo Da stands nearby, slightly annoyed that Lin Zi ended up stealing the spotlight. Snowball, now back in her small form, stumbles a bit. The temporary buff she used has worn off. Lin Zi kneels and gently pats her head, praising her for doing an excellent job. A system prompt appears. Snowball, now known as Ice Crystal Spirit, has reached stage 5 of rank 3, with her growth rate hitting 100%. But to evolve further, a requirement pops up. She'll need 10 advanced ice crystals as evolution materials. The evolution is now within reach, only the items remain. Lin Zi smiles warmly as he looks at the tired Snowball in his lap. He gently tells her to rest for now before they think about the next steps. Suddenly, a system notification pops up. Boss kill reward achieved. Lin Zi receives achievement points, a revival potion, and exactly 10 advanced ice crystals, the precise materials needed for evolution. Surprised and impressed, Lin Zi mentally notes how considerate the system is, having even provided the rare materials without extra effort. As he holds the exhausted Snowball, a hand suddenly rests on his shoulder from behind. Someone is approaching. Luoda casually places his hand on Lin Zi's shoulder, asking if they can talk. Lin Zi and Yu Zuyun both look at him, confused. Luoda then points to the fallen Bell Claw Insect King and proposes something unexpected. He wants the credit for the kill. Yu Zuyun immediately jumps up, scolding Luoda for being shameless. She reminds him that it was clearly Lin Zi who defeated the boss. But Luoda, unfazed, raises one finger and confidently offers 100,000 as a trade for the kill credit. Lin Zi reflects quietly, realizing that the outcome of this mission will impact the Beast Tamer Association's evaluation of the man sent here. For Lin Zi, though, what matters most right now is earning money. 10W could buy him a strong new pet. Luoda then approaches him, casually asking if he's interested in making a deal. Lin Zi doesn't respond immediately. He knows if he accepts too fast, Luoda might not offer better terms. Trying to convince him, Luoda explains that 10W is already half a year's savings for him. If Lin Zi accepts the mission reward, he'd only get 5W this way. He actually earns more. To seal the deal, Luoda sincerely promises to owe Lin Zi a big favor. Lin Zi agrees to the deal. Lin Zi smiles and agrees to the deal, saying that favors can't really be priced. Luoda transfers the promised amount 10W straight to Lin Zi's account. Just as Lin Zi checks his phone to confirm the payment, a sudden noise draws his attention. They both look up and are shocked to see a massive bird-like beast appear from a hidden part of the cave. Beneath its claws is someone who appears to have been captured. As the trainer walks forward, Luoda, Lin Zi, and Yu Zuyun quickly follow behind him. Luoda respectfully calls him Sir He, acknowledging his authority. He carries himself with calm confidence. Yu Zuyun notices the silver badge on his coat and is visibly stunned. She realizes this man is a silver-tier beast tamer, a figure she's only heard about in rumors. Standing before them, the trainer speaks calmly, noting that they've met again, implying he and Lin Zi have crossed paths before. Lin Zi casually greets the trainer with a relaxed wave, showing no sign of nervousness. Luoda, on the other hand, is completely stunned. He never expected that someone like Lin Zi would personally know a silver-rank powerhouse. The trainer walks forward and addresses Luoda by name, recalling their earlier introduction. He glances at the remains of the Bell Claw Insect King and notes that the mission seems to be complete. Luoda quickly steps forward, politely reporting that the entire incident has been handled smoothly and without any injuries. Trainer analyzes the situation. He notes that the defeated Bell Claw Insect King was at least a rank 4 beast. Judging by Lin Zi's pet's level, it should only be rank 2. Even with talent, he assumes Lin Zi must have teamed up with Luoda to bring it down. Then, turning serious, trainer formally apologizes. He explains that due to a misjudgment by the Beast Tamer Association, this mission was wrongly classified as basic when it should have been intermediate. The error put them all at risk. He hopes Lin Zi can forgive the association and assures him that their trust in Beast Tamers matters. Lin Zi, calm as ever, says it's fine. He adds that Luoda did a great job keeping everyone safe. Luoda, hearing the praise, scratches his head with a shy smile, pretending to be humble while clearly enjoying the compliment. Yu Zuyun, watching from the side, quietly admires how smooth and composed Lin Zi is during conversations. She thinks to herself, this must be what high emotional intelligence looks like. Meanwhile, trainer informs Lin Zi that, as compensation for the mission's misclassification, the association will provide him with 10W. In return, they'll also be taking the monster's corpse back for research. Hearing that, Luoda is amazed. He thinks to himself that Lin Zi really came out of this with a massive profit. Lin Zi politely accepts the compensation, saying he won't argue with their generosity. In his mind, though, he notes that this isn't just compensation, it's also recognition of his strength. Lin Zi smiles slightly, understanding that the 10W given by the Beast Tamer Association isn't just compensation, it's also a gesture to keep things quiet and show goodwill. Refusing it might only create complications later. Meanwhile, trainer silently observes Lin Zi's behavior. He notes that Lin Zi hasn't even acquired a second pet beast yet, which clearly means he needs money urgently. To trainer, this payout is more than a reward, it's an investment. He transfers the amount to Lin Zi's account and tells him to make good use of it. He also reassures Lin Zi that if he ever needs help again, the association will support him. Trainer then approaches the remains of the Bell Claw Insect King, casually lifts it, and with a nod, says he'll take his leave. Lin Zi watches him go, thoughtful but composed. Suddenly, Lin Zi's expression changes. His reaction leaves him momentarily stunned. Later, the team exits the cave and steps into the open. Luo Da, in high spirits, teases Lin Zi about making a huge profit 20W in one day. Lin Zi smiles and adds that he didn't just earn money, he also gained a valuable favor. Luo Da laughs and reassures him, saying not to worry. He promises that he won't forget this help and that they'll definitely meet again in the future. Watching him leave, Yu Zuyun smiles and thinks to herself meeting two powerful people in one day wasn't a waste of time at all. Looking at Lin Zi, she says she'll work hard to become stronger too. Once she reaches his level, she hopes they'll have the chance to team up again. Lin Zi smiles gently and encourages her to keep going, promising that they'll definitely get that chance in the future. Lin Zi walks through the city, thinking to himself that with his current budget, he might be able to afford a B-rank pet beast. He arrives at a sleek pet shop where a shop assistant greets him warmly and asks if she can help. He tells her he's looking to buy a pet beast. She gestures for him to follow her. They walk upstairs into a display area filled with various pet beasts in glass cases. She informs him that all the available options are here, ready for selection. The assistant politely tells Lin Zi to take his time browsing. Lin Zi walks through the display, observing the pet beasts. He figures out that in a regular store like this, B-rank pets are probably the highest tier options available. As he examines the beasts, some stand out like a skeletal creature, and a mushroom-type pet, both marked as B-rank with basic evolutionary paths. Then he spots a small fiery spirit beast. Lin Zi instantly reacts this one has a hidden evolution route. But even with that, he notes that it doesn't come close to the potential of Snowball's evolved form, the Ice Queen who belongs to a completely different league. The assistant praises Lin Zi's sharp eye for spotting the rare flame spirit. She explains that although it's a B-rank pet, it's considered top tier among its grade and is priced at 160,000. Lin Zi is surprised by the cost. She adds that the price also includes materials needed for its evolution, trying to sweeten the deal. Lin Zi politely says he'll look around a bit more. As he walks, he reflects on how Snowball was once considered an F-rank pet, believed to have no potential. But he now understands that official rankings aren't absolute, they're just opinions based on knowledge and experience, not facts. Suddenly, his system alerts him there's a hidden royal tier pet beast nearby with a concealed evolution route. As Lin Zi continues browsing, something suddenly catches his attention. He pauses, surprised one of the pet beasts looks oddly familiar. He approaches a small, rock-like creature labeled as a rock type. At first glance, it seems simple, but something about it stands out. The display shows its basic evolution path into a larger, bulky stone creature with enhanced strength, defense, and elemental resistance. But what really surprises Lin Zi is its hidden evolution route. It doesn't just grow stronger, it can evolve into a being known as the Rock God, tapping into ancient bloodlines and gaining the power to control Earth itself. Lin Zi discovers the requirements for the rock-type beast's next evolution stage. He notes it needs full growth, elemental essence, and a rare powder, which hints at its hidden potential. He suddenly remembers why the creature looked familiar. It's the same base form that another person's pet, the giant rock beast, evolved from. But that one followed the normal path. What surprises Lin Zi is that this version could take a completely different route, one that leads to a divine-level evolution, something the other owner likely had no idea about. He compares the two pets. Mentally, Ice Crystal Spirit is more of a burst damage and control type, fitting for a mage role. Meanwhile, this rock-type beast would evolve into a warrior type, focusing on strength and endurance. The assistant, cheerful and enthusiastic, tells Lin Zi that the little rock beast is quite a popular choice, easy to raise, decent in battle, and very affordable. She offers it for 80,000, and Lin Zi agrees to buy it without hesitation. He also requests some additional materials for its evolution, listing them confidently. Hearing his request, the assistant is confused. She points out that the rock beast can't evolve using those high-grade materials and questions if he's planning to actually use them on it, especially since they're expensive and meant for more advanced pets. Lin Zi laughs it off, claiming the materials are meant for someone else as a gift, brushing aside her concern. Lin Zi checks his remaining balance, only 20,000 left. He's a bit frustrated that the evolution materials cost more than the pet itself. The assistant completes the transaction and hands him the sealing orb. The little rock beast is sealed inside with a brilliant glow, confirming the contract. As the bond is formed, a notification pops up. Lin Z has successfully signed his second pet beast, and earns plus 300 achievement points for it. That evening, Lin Z prepares for training. He sits cross-legged with the materials laid out in front of him and begins the summoning. The little rock beast appears in a flash of blue energy, its growth rate currently at just 12%. Lin Z checks his available achievement points, 800 total, and realizes he needs to raise the pet's growth to 100% before anything else. He spends 220 points, boosting the rock beast to stage 2 with full growth. A bright light surrounds the creature as it levels up instantly. Lin Z sits comfortably with the rock beast in front of him. Looking at its cute and clumsy appearance, he thinks to himself, no one would expect this little guy to carry a hidden god tier evolution path. He then instructs the rock beast to eat the evolution materials he prepared. The creature immediately reacts, charging forward and gobbling down one of the items. But before it can evolve fully, Lin Z reminds it there's still more to consume, pointing at the second item that remains untouched. Lin Z watches as the rock beast stubbornly shakes its head, refusing to eat the remaining evolution material. Surprised and annoyed, Lin Z scolds it, reminding the creature how expensive those materials were. To his shock, the little beast even throws a tantrum, stomping around in protest. Lin Z is left speechless. "You're actually mad now," he mutters in disbelief. Just then, a summoning light appears. The rock beast pauses, tilting its head in confusion as someone is about to arrive. A dark energy pulses through the room. Snowball appears, her expression cold and ominous. Lin Z quietly observes, noting that Snowball seems to have recovered well. Without warning, the rock beast launches itself forward in a full-speed charge, its small body engulfed in rage. The impact as it crashes headfirst into Snowball with a loud burst. After the impact, Snowball stands firm, calmly holding an ice blade in her hand. The rock beast, now on the floor, looks defeated. But instead of staying down, it suddenly bursts into dramatic, exaggerated sobbing, flapping its tiny arms and crying loudly. Lin Z watches the whole thing unfold and rubs his forehead in disbelief. He can't help but sigh at how overly his new pet is. Snowball stands with arms crossed, staring down the trembling rock beast. Her presence alone is enough to make it nervous and retreats slightly in fear. The rock beast, overwhelmed, starts shaking and lets out a puff of smoke, panicking under the pressure. Suddenly, a screen flashes. Snowball's growth rate reaches its peak, signaling a major breakthrough. Just then, Lin Z appears surrounded by a sinister red aura. His presence shifts dramatically, and the atmosphere becomes heavy. The red aura around Lin Z intensifies, bursting out in a violent surge of energy. Moments later, a new rock stands where the energy burst rock beast has evolved into a terrifying armored warrior form. Its entire body is clad in jagged, dark stone, exuding raw strength. A system panel flashes, confirming its evolution. The rock beast has now reached stage 9 of rank 2. It possesses several new skills and even greater potential, requiring 100% growth and rare earth elemental materials for its next divine evolution. Lin Z casually mentions that the evolution of rock beast into this form was something they clearly didn't see coming. The evolved rock beast glares intensely, its red eyes glowing beneath the armored helmet. Lin Z turns in surprise, sensing the sudden danger, but before he can react, the ground erupts beneath him. Rock beast has launched a powerful ground spike attack straight at him. As the spikes rush forward, Snowball reacts instantly, dashing through the air to intercept the attack, aiming to protect Lin Z before the strike lands. Rock beast charges forward with a brutal punch, aiming to crush everything in its path. A massive cloud of frost and mist explodes out as Snowball counters the attack. The sudden defense catches rock beast off guard. Its expression shifts from rage to confusion. Snowball emerges with a solid block of ice, her ice shield firmly raised to block the blow, standing her ground with calm determination. Rock beast glares at Lin Z, frustrated that its attack was blocked. Lin, startled, reacts as the beast's presence overwhelms the room. A system alert appears. Snowball now meets the conditions for evolution. Lin Z steps up with confidence, ready to show who's really in control. He activates the evolution, using 10 high-level ice materials. Bright light surrounds Snowball as the transformation begins. In the next moment, her silhouette shifts, her body surges with power, glowing with icy blue energy. Rock beast tries to brace itself, but it's too late. An icy blast crashes through the room, forcing it on the defensive. A notification appears. Snowball's evolution has succeeded. From the mist, her new form is revealed, no longer the small frost spirit. She now stands tall and elegant as the Snow Lady, surrounded by swirling frost and glowing blue energy. Another system screen outlines her new abilities: upgraded ice blade attacks, improved reflective shields, and a devastating storm that enhances the extreme cold domain, turning it into a full-blown blizzard. As the newly evolved Snow Lady steps forward, Lindsay observes with excitement. Not only has she evolved, but her abilities have upgraded too. Facing her intimidating presence, Rock Beast hesitates, its stance weakens, and for the first time. Suddenly, sharp ice spikes rise up from beneath, catching Rock Beast off guard. Lindsay calmly gives the command, calling out Snow Ladies. Snow Lady unleashes a barrage of sharp icicles from above, raining them down on Rock Beast. Caught off guard, it stares up in shock, unable to react in time. Moments later, Rock Beast is on the ground, completely overwhelmed. Snow Lady stands tall. Lindsay walks over serious. He reminds Rock Beast of their contract. If it's going to stay under his command, obedience is non-negotiable. As he gives a final warning, if Rock Beast continues to act out of line, he won't hesitate to destroy it. Rock Beast trembles as Lindsay steps forward, asking firmly whether it will finally submit. With pressure still looming from the icicles above, Rock Beast quickly bows its head in agreement. But Lindsay doesn't let it off easily. He warns that next time, there won't be any second chances. Under the cold rain of icicles, Rock Beast gulps, completely intimidated. The beast clings tightly to Lindsay's leg like a child begging for forgiveness, while Snow Lady watches silently. Lindsay opens the door, only to be immediately confronted by a muscular man in a black tank top. The man is furious, demanding to know why Lin caused such chaos in the middle of the night. He points out the damage done to his home, especially the ruined wall. Trying to smooth things over, Lindsay puts on a nervous smile, apologizing and offering to cover the damages. But the man doesn't buy it. He snaps, saying this isn't the first time, and demands compensation not just for repairs, but for his mental stress too. He throws out a number, at least 300,000. Lindsay is stunned at the demand. 300,000. His face twists in disbelief. But the angry neighbor confirms it, insisting Lin must pay up within 3 days. As he starts threatening consequences, Rock Beast silently appears behind him, towering and menacing. The man doesn't realize the danger behind him until Rock Beast slowly raises its fist, glowing with fury. The angry neighbor suddenly freezes. He senses something behind him. Rock Beast's massive arm swings in at full force, stopping just inches away from the man's face as Lindsay calmly orders it to halt. Shaken and sweating, the man stares at the beast in disbelief. He stammers, asking if this terrifying creature is Lindsay's pet. He bows his head and quickly apologizes, trying to play it off as a misunderstanding. Rock Beast glares silently at the neighbor, its glowing red eyes narrowing with threat. Shaking, the angry neighbor quickly backs down, waving his hands nervously. He mutters that there's no need for compensation anymore, it's all a misunderstanding. Lindsay simply smiles. He reassures the man that it's no big deal, as long as they don't fuss over small things. Later that night, Lindsay sleeps peacefully in bed. Snowball, now in her evolved ice crystal spirit form, lies beside him. Nearby, Rock Beast sits on the floor. Morning light shines through the windows, and the city awakens. Inside the room, Snowball is playing a song on her phone. The cheerful, loud music suddenly startles Lindsay, who bolts up in surprise as the lyrics echo through the room. Guan makes a call, reminding Lindsay that today is the entrance exam for Zhongning Beast Tamer Academy. She suspects he's forgotten again. Startled, Lindsay quickly answers and realizes his mistake. Guan urges him to hurry and meet at the school gate. Later, a crowd gathers outside the academy near a bus. As Lindsay arrives, someone in the crowd spots him and calls out. From a distance, Guan waves her hand high and signals to her brother, calling him over with a cheerful smile. Some students stand in front of the academy, annoyed that Lindsay arrived late for something so important. One of them mocks him, saying he clearly overestimates himself. Lindsay walks up calmly, brushing off their comments. Someone nearby defends him, reminding the others that he cleared a high-difficulty trial. Moments later, his teacher, furious, slaps Lindsay for being late again. She accuses him of oversleeping. Lindsay laughs it off, saying he's just been really tired lately and tries to play it cool despite the scolding. The teacher questions Lindsay about whether he's been seriously training his soul arts. She seems strict but concerned. Guan, watching from a distance, notices the interaction and feels a bit confused seeing them talk. The teacher then gathers all the students and begins addressing them formally. She reminds them that they're top students from Pinghai No. 1 high school, and this entrance test will be even more challenging. She encourages everyone to do their best, saying she'll be waiting for their good news. The students cheer together, full of excitement and energy as they prepare to depart. The mood is uplifting as everyone raises their hands in encouragement. Back in a quiet moment, the teacher looks at Lindsay with high expectations, silently hoping he can become a shining example for their school. The bus begins its journey through winding mountain roads. Inside, Guan starts a conversation with Lindsay, asking why he hasn't been replying to her messages and what he's been so busy with lately. Lindsay admits he's been swamped with tasks and completely forgot to check in, brushing it off with a laugh as the two sit side by side. Guan reassures Lindsay not to worry and excitedly shares that her pet bird has successfully evolved. She proudly asks if he's impressed. Lindsay is surprised and praises her, saying that with her pet's evolution, she should have no problem passing the upcoming entrance test. As their bus enters Jiangning City, the skyline comes into view. The towering buildings and scenery impress Guan, who gazes out the window in awe, marveling at the beauty of the big city. While enjoying the view, Lindsay accidentally finds himself a little too close to Guan. His face turns red as he notices her leaning in. Guan, realizing the awkward position, hesitates mid-sentence and freezes. The two stare at each other silently for a moment, both embarrassed. Suddenly flustered, Guan panics and quickly pulls back, her face burning red as she tries to recover from the moment. In the back seats, a few girls notice what just happened and chuckle to themselves. The group finally arrives at Jiangning Beast Tamer Academy. The building stuns everyone. It's grand, luxurious, and more magnificent than expected. Some students are amazed, calling it impressive and cool. They admire the fountains, statues, and palace design. One student remarks that just being able to attend a place like this makes all the effort worth it. As Lindsay walks forward, he calmly tells someone to step aside. A group of students led by a calm, confident man walks toward the academy gates. Their school is introduced, and their team has 17 students. Moments later, another group arrives, this time more energetic and aggressive. A muscular guy and a girl with pink twin tails lead the team of 21 students from a different school. Watching them, one of the pink-haired girls from Lindsay's side nervously reminds Guan that as their class leader, she can't afford to lose to them. Lindsay gives Guan a thumbs up, silently encouraging her before she steps forward confidently with her team. Their group, Pinghai No. 1 High, steps up to register 12 students in total. Nearby, a student from another school watches them and sneers, calling them country bumpkins. A map briefly highlights the regional status of Pinghai, indicating that it's seen as more remote compared to the cities of Canyon and Kinbing, explaining the bias others have toward them. A student boldly charges forward and punches a giant statue. A man in a white coat appears, praising the student's spirit. He introduces himself as Teacher Su-hee, the one in charge of overseeing this round of the admissions test. He congratulates everyone for passing the initial trial, but warns them not to celebrate just yet. He explains that this entrance exam is much tougher than the beast taming trials they've faced before. Based on previous years, only 10 out of everyone present will be accepted. The elimination rate is 80%. One of the girls from Pinghai gets worried. She thinks since they passed the easier trial, they'll definitely be eliminated now. A cocky student from another school mocks them, saying Pinghai students don't stand a chance and should just give up. The pink-haired girl snaps back, clearly annoyed. Meanwhile, the tall, muscular guy casually asks his teammate Xinyi who else besides the two of them might pass. She doesn't answer, just looks silently and blows her bubble gum. She observes another boy and comments that he seems strong. Meanwhile, she blowing bubble gum, watches the crowd suspiciously. Lindsay also notices something strange about one of the students. He can't put his finger on it, but the guy feels oddly familiar. Xinyi murmurs that something about him just seems off. She blows her bubble gum. The boy beside her notices and asks what's wrong. She brushes it off, saying it's nothing. He examines Lindsay, that one of the students present seems to have an unusually deep and unreadable strength. The boy scoffs in response, dismissing Lindsay's concern. He arrogantly claims that students from Pinghai are far below their level and not worth worrying about. Later, Suhi steps forward to address all the gathered students. He informs them that they'll first check into the Academy's dormitory hotel and rest well today to prepare for the upcoming entrance exams. He also cheerfully adds that during the test period, meals in the Academy cafeteria will be free and delicious. After the announcements, the students are given free time. Xinyi excitedly cheers, saying she's been hungry for a while and invites her brother to eat together. Inside the Academy's dining hall, Guan chooses a table and suggests they sit there. Meanwhile, two boys at another table notice Guan walking by. One of them is stunned by her appearance and starts whispering about how attractive she looks. His friend quickly scolds him to keep his voice down, warning not to embarrass their school. Guan cheerfully encourages her brother to eat more, happily handing him a drumstick. He nervously chuckles, already overwhelmed by the mountain of food in front of him, insisting he's already full. Meanwhile, Xiao Yun and Si Yan approach with their plates, teasing Guan for not sharing food with them. They joke that she and her brother act just like a couple. Embarrassed, Guan turns bright red and quickly tells them to stop. One of the boys at the nearby table is shocked to see that Lindsay is now surrounded by even more girls. He exclaims in disbelief that Lindsay somehow keeps attracting them. His friend becomes visibly frustrated, calling it unfair. He can't understand why Lindsay is so popular despite thinking he himself looks better. As some time, a large student politely approaches Guan, Lindsay, and the group, asking if he can sit with them. Guan glances up at him silently. The student is allowed to sit at the table. He takes a seat beside Lindsay and introduces himself with a friendly smile, saying he's from Kinping High and his name is Zhuxing. Curious, Lindsay looks over and asks what he wants. While eating, Zhuxing mentions he heard rumors about a high schooler from Pinghai who managed to clear an extremely difficult level. He wonders aloud if that student came to the academy as well. Xinyi and the other girls question Zhuxing's intentions, accusing him of trying to gather intel before the exams even begin. Zhuxing nervously waves his hands, claiming he just wants to make friends. He admits that since he's not particularly outstanding, gaining information is his best shot at having a chance in the upcoming tests. Guan responds bluntly, saying they don't have anything to share and tells him to leave. Embarrassed but trying to stay friendly, Zhuxing laughs awkwardly and says they shouldn't be so harsh. He adds that he already has a general idea of the capable candidates among the current exam group. Zhuxing points out a silver-haired student entering with 3 girls and introduces him as Lai Pengyun, the top student from Kinping High. He explains that Lai Pengyun is a recognized prodigy who recently cleared a high-difficulty trial. His contracted beast, a venomous plant-type monster, has already reached Tier 3. Hearing this shocks Xinyi and her friend. They're stunned that a high schooler could own a Tier 3 pet beast. Zhuxing casually adds that Lai Pengyun also comes from a well-known wealthy family, which supplied him with rare materials for beast evolution. The girls quietly admit there's no way their Tier 1 pets could compare to someone like him. Guan silently reflects on the gap between her own pet beast and the Tier 3 one they just saw, realizing that her bird is still stuck at Tier 2, Stage 7. Meanwhile, Zhuxing points to another girl in the dining hall, Guo Xiningi, the twin-tailed girl. He explains that she's known as a troublemaker from Kongwu City. She only formed her first contract in her senior year, but still managed to pass a high difficulty assessment in just 1 month. Her pet, a steel pattern baby dragon, has already reached Tier 2, Stage 8. The girls at the table are stunned. One questions how a pet could grow that fast in just 6 months, while the other speculates she might have already had it at Stage 7 when they bonded. Lindsay casually explains that if someone has high enough spiritual power, they can directly contract with stronger pet beasts without needing to level up slowly. Hearing this, Xinyi looks curious and confused, not fully understanding what he meant. Then, with a playful expression, she strikes a flashy pose. Lindsay, caught off guard by her sudden cuteness, can only stare blankly. Zhuxin continues, mentioning that there's another top student from Kangwu City named Tan Yong, who is partnered with a rare dual-attribute pet. This revelation shocks Xinyi and her friend, who react in disbelief upon hearing that dual attributes are involved. Guan calmly explains that their teacher once mentioned such rare beasts exist, but are usually found in extremely dangerous regions and are almost impossible to tame. Lindsay, thinking to himself, recalls that the monster called Rock Ghost belongs to both ghost and rock types. He considers how valuable it would be to develop a dual-attribute pet like that. Zhu Xing finishes sharing all the information he knows and then asks the group if they can tell him who the student is that passed the super difficult trial. Xingyi excitedly begins to respond, pointing playfully as if to reveal something important. But before she can say more, Lindsay, still eating, calmly interrupts and says that the person he's asking about isn't here today. They notice someone's absence and quietly comment that the person didn't show up today. Lindsay calmly dismisses Zhu Xing, implying that he's not needed here and their group isn't close to his family. Zhu Xing gives up questioning and politely says he won't press further, then leaves. As he walks away, Zhu Xing thinks to himself that they're clearly hiding something. He suspects one of them might be the person capable of passing the highest level difficulty trial. Zhu Xing walks past a table of 3 other students. One of them eyes Lindsay's group and suggests testing that boy soon. Meanwhile, Xiao Yun questions Lindsay directly, asking why he didn't reveal the truth. She believes it's something he should be proud of. But Lindsay calmly wipes his mouth and replies that it's better to stay low-key. He doesn't want to draw attention too early and isn't fully convinced about the accuracy of the other family's intel. Guan smiles, impressed by Lindsay's cautious thinking. They walk together down the cafeteria aisle after finishing their meal. Guan suggests to Xiao Yun and Si Yan that they should train together that night so they don't fall behind other schools. The 2 girls happily agree. Guan then turns to Lindsay and asks if he wants to come to their room later so all 4 of them can hang out together. Lindsay pauses, but suddenly his mind flashes with 3 in revealing swimsuits, leaving him completely stunned. As Guan walks past a guy with silver hair, he suddenly reaches out to touch her. The guy smugly suggests that he and his friends should come visit the girl's room that night. He leans in with a creepy smile, calling Guan flirtatiously. But before he can finish his thought, Guan unleashes a powerful slap, her eyes glowing red with rage. The guy grabs his hand and shockingly responds that he actually enjoys it, still acting provocatively. His friends burst into laughter mocking, while Xiao Yun and Si Yan watch with concern from behind. But suddenly, a dark and threatening aura surrounds Lindsay. He looks directly at Guy, demanding him to let go. No more warnings. Guan steps in to calm down Lindsay, warning him that causing a fight here will definitely lead to punishment. Despite that, the guy keeps mocking them. He makes crude comments about their school, praising the girls but insulting the boys as weak. Lindsay says nothing, but his expression darkens as his fist slowly rises. In a flash, Lindsay punches the guy straight in the face with a devastating blow. After Lindsay's punch sends the guy flying, his companions rush forward angrily, ready to fight back. But Lindsay stands firm, surrounded by a dark, furious aura. He coldly warns them that they can say whatever they want to him, but insulting or threatening Guan is unacceptable. His intense aura freezes the 2 in place. They watch in shock as their friend lies unconscious behind them. Lin-Z, consumed by rage, declares that he won't let the guy off easily after everything he said and did. The guy, now furious, challenges Lin-Z to settle things right there with a fight. Just as he's about to attack, someone suddenly grabs his arm to stop him. Pengyun steps in and tells him not to make a scene or disgrace their side here. The haired guy is shocked and calls out to him in frustration. Pengyun calmly acknowledges Lin-Z's punch, saying it was powerful and suggests both sides should consider things settled. But Lin-Z doesn't agree. He makes it clear that, for him, this matter isn't over yet. As Pengyun helps carry away his injured teammate, he tells Lin-Z that the guy will be punished back home, but if Lin-Z still has a problem, he can bring it to him directly. The two of them lock eyes, and a surge of intense energy flares between them. After everything settles, Guan suggests they leave, gently pulling at Lin-Z's sleeve. He pauses silently for a moment, then agrees with a calm expression. As they begin walking away, Lin-Z casually mentions their next focus getting ready for the upcoming exam. Xiao Yun cheers behind them, calling Lin-Z cool as the group exits together. Elsewhere, Pengyun smirks in the shadows, finally confirming his suspicion Lin-Z is the one to watch. Later that night, at a luxurious dorm, steam rises from the bathroom as the girls Guan, Xiao Yun, and Si-Yan relax together in the bath. Guan looks annoyed as all three squeeze into the tub, asking why they barged in together. Xiao Yun just grins mischievously and says it's their way of thanking her for training them, clearly enjoying the moment a bit too much. Si-Yan happily shares that their pet beasts have now reached Tier 2, meaning they're finally strong enough to win upcoming battles. As a thank you, she and Xiao Yun excitedly offer to give Guan a massage, but things get a little too enthusiastic. Guan, flustered and blushing, yells at them to stop touching her randomly. Inside a grand hall, students gather in neat rows facing a glowing red portal. At the front, Suhee addressing the crowd, claiming he has good news based on their recent exam performance. He reveals his true opinion: this group has the lowest scores he's seen, and he doesn't expect much from them. Xiao Yun, embarrassed, yells in disbelief. Behind her, a few boys argue and point fingers, blaming others for dragging down the group's results. Xiao Yun, fired up and furious, shouts at the student who mocked her group. She warns him not to cross paths with her after the exam, or he'll regret it. Meanwhile, Suhee explains the gathered students it will take place inside the illusion realm created by the Origin Stone Monument. There will be no difficulty selection, everyone will face the same trial. As the monument activates, the test name is revealed: Mystic Forest Trial. The surface of the crystal lights up, showing a vibrant, dangerous forest filled with magical creatures and traps. Inside the illusionary mystic forest, dangerous beasts with glowing eyes roam, ready to attack anything that enters their territory. Suhee explains the exam rules. Each participant will receive a point tracker, and their score will increase based on the beasts they defeat. He then outlines the scoring system. Defeating a level 1 beast earns 10 points, a level 2 beast grants 20 points, and a level 3 beast gives 40 points. However, Suhee warns them the forest is brutal. If their pet or the student themselves is eliminated, they'll be considered disqualified. He adds that in the forest's center, there's a ranking monument displaying the top 10 players' scores and their current locations, making them both targets and competitors. As students process the exam details, some begin to panic. One of them voices concern about the presence of level 3 beasts, worrying they'll be instantly eliminated if encountered. Suhee continues the announcement. The exam will last 4 hours, and at the end, only the top 10 scorers will be selected based on points. Suddenly, Lai Pengyun raises his hand and asks a sharp question: can they only hunt beasts to earn points? Suhee grins darkly and praises the question. Then, he reveals the twist. Defeating other participants is allowed, and if they do, they'll inherit all of their opponent's points. The students react in outrage. Many can't believe such brutal rules are allowed. Some argue that it encourages betrayal among classmates. One student proposes forming a group to eliminate competitors from other schools to secure a top spot. A boy cracks his knuckles with a smirk, excited by the chance to fight without holding back. Meanwhile, Xinyi, blowing bubble gum, observes the chaos around her calmly and with little interest. Suhee silences the crowd. He tells them the real battlefield is far crueler and gives everyone the option to withdraw now if they're scared. He adds that the top-ranked student will receive the title of freshman leader, along with special privileges after enrollment. Lin-Zi narrows his eyes with focus in his mind. He's eager to see who among the new students will prove themselves the strongest. A montage of standout candidates appears: Xinyi, Lai Pengyun, the muscular brawler, Lin-Zi, and Guan. All of them potential contenders for the top rank. Guan, looking thoughtful, hopes to meet up with Lin-Zi in the trial. Even if she can't make it to the top 10, she wants to support him however she can. Before entering the illusion, Lin-Zi calmly instructs Guan to use her bird-type pet's flight ability to find him quickly and regroup once inside the trial zone. She gives a confident nod, her eyes gleaming with determination. She's ready. Suhee stands on stage, instructing everyone to stay calm as the trial is about to begin. A bright red burst signals the opening of the illusion realm. The transfer begins. Inside the illusion forest, Lin-Zi appears first. He calmly surveys the area, standing tall among the trees. Lin-Zi scans the forest carefully, remaining alert to any signs of movement. He spots a tall red monument in the distance and recognizes it as the ranking stone. Glancing at his wrist device, it shows his current score is 0 and the countdown timer is active. He notes that players can only view their own score, not their ranking. This forces everyone to eventually approach the central stone, making it the most dangerous area later on. The red pillar in the center displays the top 10 scores, but only if players actively go to update it. If someone doesn't, their location will still show. Lin-Zi realizes the true goal of this exam is to pit students against each other. The one with the most strength makes the rules here. He reminds himself that it's just a game. As his spirit beasts materialize behind him, he focuses having fun is what matters most. Suddenly, a sharp object comes flying toward him. Two-headed snakes rush at Lin-Zi, but a glowing barrier blocks them. Lin-Zi stays calm, barely reacting. He notes the barrier consumes little soul power, so he keeps it active as a precaution. Suddenly, Rock Ghost slams into the ground, summoned by Lin-Zi. Lin-Zi decides to observe the golem's performance without revealing his own strength. He wants to test the creature's dual attribute potential. The rock ghost stares down the retreating two-headed snake, which backs away in fear. Lin-Zi tells it to stop chasing, explaining the low-tier beasts aren't worth the effort due to low points. The rock ghost clenches its fists, excited by Lin-Zi's suggestion to find tougher enemies to fight. Lin-Zi remains calm, but quietly worries whether Guan Ning will be able to locate him smoothly. A fiery centipede lies defeated behind Guan Ning, who looks up with hope that everything goes smoothly. She checks her watch. 30 points, time remaining, 3 hours 45 minutes. She lets out a relieved breath. Pointing ahead, Guan Ning commands her flaming bird, "Go, flame bird," and it takes flight. The flame bird soars through the sky, heading toward the red stone pillar. Guan Ning clutches her hand to her chest. Her eyes look around as she quietly mutters, "Lin-Zi, where are you?" Guan Flame Bird glides high above the trees, scanning from the sky. Through her glowing eyes, Guan sees what the bird sees. Her vision locks onto the landscape ahead. Elsewhere in the forest, a student's small beast clashes with a massive red snail in a heated fight. Another student flees in panic as a weird frog-flying creature lunges at him from behind. A group of strange monkey beasts clap and cheer wildly, possibly having just evaded the flame bird's pursuit. The flame bird returns to Guan, who realizes her pet can't stay too far from her for long. Guan determines her only option is to try her luck near the stone monument. She believes Lin-Zi is strong enough to reach the top 10 and might show up on the ranking list. Without hesitation, she mounts a large yellow bird and launches into the sky. She jumps off the yellow ostrich mount mid-run. The bird runs off in a panic as she launches a surprise strike. Based on memory, she recalls this golden-back ostrich to be around rank 2, stage 5. Her flame bird swoops down in a blazing dive, burning through the sky with overwhelming power. She's confident it can win easily. The ostrich is engulfed in flames and collapses instantly. Guanning notes that she just earned 20 points with no effort. Just as the flaming ostrich falls, a boomerang crashes in, striking it down before it lands. Guan is startled. She looks around in shock, questioning who launched the attack and stole her kill. A large hand grabs the returning boomerang effortlessly. Standing confidently is a muscular beast man named Otto the Wildman, a humanoid pet beast of rank 2, stage 4. The guy watches smugly from behind. The guy grins as he smugly greets Guan, remarking on their fated reunion. She angrily confronts him for stealing her kill, but he just shrugs it off, saying there are no rules against it. He enthusiastically orders his pet Otto to attack, shouting for him to crush her flaming bird. Otto launches into the air with immense power, about to strike down with brute force. Guan shouts urgently, warning her flaming bird to dodge the incoming attack. A golden boomerang hurtles through the air, aimed directly at her. Guan realizes too late that it's targeting her, not the bird. The impact knocks her off her feet, leaving her vulnerable and dazed. The guy grabs her from behind and mocks her with a sinister smile, saying she won't be able to command her bird anymore now. He smugly explains how humanoid-type beasts like his have high intelligence, allowing them to act independently while his commands are just suggestions. His beast grabs Guanning flaming bird tightly, restraining it completely. The guy creepily whispers to Guanning, enjoying her helpless state before she gets eliminated. On the other side of Lindsay, he checks his wrist display. His current score is 40 points, and 3 hours 28 minutes remain in the exam. Rock Ghost silently finishes off another beast and tosses the body aside, while Lindsay calmly walks ahead without turning back. He casually checks his wrist tracker again as he hears strange sounds from deeper in the forest. A strange-looking creature called Big Belly Beast appears. It's a round, heavy-looking beast being led by a player. He spots them and smirks, thinking this will be an easy score. Zhu Xing checks his wrist tracker, revealing he already has 60 points. He advises himself not to get too relaxed. He suddenly notices the arrival of Lindsay. Recognizing him, he mentions they've met in the cafeteria before. Lindsay smiles calmly, thinking to himself that this guy probably doesn't know his identity. Since he seems informed, he could be useful. Rock Ghost stands proudly, drawing Lindsay off. He wonders if it's a rare beast since he's never seen one like it before. Zhu Xing watches from a distance, assuming Lindsay isn't the same Lindsay who passed the advanced trial. He believes Lin uses an ice-type beast, unlike the golem beside him. Lindsay smiles and humbly claims his beast is nothing special, just a basic D-rank pet that reached level 2. Zhu Xing proudly presents his unusual and rare monster, a mutated beast that has already reached level 2, stage 7. Zhu Xing boasts further, offering to let Lindsay follow him and earn points together. He promises that if Lin listens to him, he'll easily get into the top 10. Lindsay excitedly celebrates, thinking he's finally found a teammate to rely on. However, Zhu Xing secretly grins, thinking Lindsay is a fool. He plans to use Lin's strength and then betray him once he's no longer useful. Guanning reaches out to grab the guy. She flips the guy over her shoulder in a surprise move, slamming him to the ground with a loud thud. The guy, humiliated, curses in frustration after being slammed down. His eyes widen in shock. Guanning, now calm but deadly serious, reminds him that last time her brother held back, this time she won't. As she declares, demonize, pink and black flames erupt around her. The beast turns its head in shock as demonic pink-purple flames suddenly ignite beside it, leaving it stunned. From within the flames, a dark-horned bird emerges, eyes glowing and body wrapped in ominous smoke, descending like a demon from the sky. The flame bird swoops down with blazing pink flames. Otto panics as flame bird surrounds him, his face filled with fear. Terrified, Otto turns and runs away, ignoring his master's desperate call to return. Standing on top of Guy, Guoning mocks him, remarking how having a pet with its own will isn't always a good thing. Lying on the ground, the guy smirks and arrogantly makes a final remark, pointing at himself mockingly. He is abruptly silenced by a powerful strike that sends him flying. Guoning stands over his unconscious body and notices her score has increased to 70, confirming she gained points from defeating him. The ranking crystal updates, displaying the top 5 scores. Guoning is now in 4th place with 70 points. The instructor observes the leaderboard and is surprised someone already surpassed 100 points in under an hour, exceeding expectations for this batch of examinees. Pengyun is walking toward the battlefield through the glowing portal. A massive spotted savage tiger beast type stage 3, level 1 towers over Pengyun ready to attack. His pet, poison vine demon plant type stage 3, level 3 appears nearby, indicating a high-level threat zone. The spotted savage tiger suddenly charges forward with ferocity, aiming straight for Pengyun. Poison vine demon eyes glowing as he alert. With a sudden burst, the poison vine demon launches its vines, piercing into the tiger's body and pinning it to the ground. The tiger is forcefully slammed away, overwhelmed by the power of the vine-based monster. The spotted savage tiger tries to resist, its face twisted in rage as vines continue to entangle its mouth. Despite the struggle, the tiger collapses in front of Pengyun. He calmly tells the poison vine demon to stop playing and prepare to hunt the next target. The savage tiger's eye widens in shock. A sudden burst of green vines pierces through its body with brutal force, splattering blood. The poison vine demon stands atop the lifeless tiger. The vines retract slowly from the corpse, twitching with eerie energy as they pull free. The poison vine demon towers over the lifeless tiger. As the vines retract, the tiger's body collapses to the ground. Pengyun casually checks his wristband. His score now reads 210. With a smug expression, he declares himself the rightful ruler of this new generation. He spots a tall red monument in the distance and recognizes it as the ranking stone. A new leaderboard is displayed near the glowing red monument. Kai Pengyun now holds the top spot with 210 points. Guo Xingyi follows in second, while others fall in line. The timer shows 2 hours and 39 minutes remaining. The man smirks, confirming that Guo Xingyi has reached second place just as expected. He questions her strategy. She's been helping him gain all the points while remaining at 0 herself. He wonders if she really doesn't mind. Guo Xingyi calmly asks, "So, who should we start with?" The man looks at the leaderboard, remarking that it's still too early to challenge Kai Pengyun, who leads with 210 points. He notes that Lu Gang, another participant, is from their school. He narrows his focus to a new target, Guanning, currently ranked 4th. Guo Xingyi recalls someone named Lin Zi, once praised as a genius, but she doesn't see his name on the leaderboard. She scoffs at the thought. They conclude that many on the list likely used cheap tactics to climb. The girl notes that Guanning is nearby, and they decide to move toward him. Guanning points toward the east, deciding the direction to proceed. The flame bird lands as she follows behind. She calculates 2 monster targets. Nearby on the left is a wind cutter mantis, and on the right, a man-eating flower. She's evaluating which one to take on next. She looks determined, wondering where Lin Zi is and deciding which direction she must take to find him. Meanwhile, Lin Zi walks calmly through the forest alongside Andre. They encounter a new enemy, a creature labeled as Withered Vine Beast, ranked 2ND tier, level 4. Andre cheerfully tells Lin Zi to handle the beast first and promises to assist shortly. He smirks to himself, planning to swoop in and steal the kill after the creature is nearly defeated so he can claim the points. The rock beast launches a powerful strike toward the withered vine beast. The enemy is swiftly eliminated, signaled by a red icon showing its defeat. Rock beast remains silent, staring at the defeated enemy while Lindsay watches calmly in the background. Andre stands silently and stunned by what just happened. Suddenly, his face twists in shock as he realizes the armored creature killed the enemy instantly before he could even act. The screen shows a countdown timer with just 2 hours and 20 minutes remaining. The leaderboard reveals the top participants. Lindsay is shown in 9th place with 120 points, a sharp rise from his previous position. A total of 17 participants have already completed the challenge. The instructor observes the screen, surprised by Lindsay's rapid progress, jumping from rank 33 to rank 9 in under 2 hours. He recalls rumors about Lindsay being from a family known for overcoming high-difficulty trials. He realizes the reason behind their success. Lindsay and Zhuxiang are working together as a team. As they walk through the forest, Zhuxiang complains that Lindsay and his pet, Rock Beast, keep eliminating enemies too quickly. Zhuxiang asks to be given a chance to fight at least one. Lindsay simply apologizes, showing no intention of slowing down. He explains that since the graduation exam affects their school advancement, he always commands Rock Beast to go all out in battle. Then, turning casually to Zhuxiang, he offers to let him handle the next one if he wants points too. Annoyed, he grits his teeth, thinking Lindsay is getting too full of himself. He plans to take Lindsay down in the next fight and steal all his points. Suddenly, a warning appears on the screen. A dangerous elite beast has appeared in the area. Lindsay looks at the alert and wonders if defeating a rare ranked beast might offer more points, showing interest in maximizing his score. From the bushes, a golden glow starts to emerge, accompanied by a rustling sound. The group moves closer and discovers a massive golden tree. Lindsay, Zhuxiang, Big Mouth, and Rock Beast all stand in awe at the sight. Zhuxiang exclaims in shock, "It's a golden tree, something extremely rare." He guesses it must be a special bonus reward for those who find it. Without warning, 2 thick golden roots erupt from the ground. Zhuxiang is grabbed and flung into the air, while Lindsay back off, caught off guard. Zhuxiang is wrapped tightly by the golden root, hanging upside down. He shouts in shock as he's dragged toward the tree. The face of the golden tree begins to morph, revealing a fierce expression carved from its bark. The tree reveals its monstrous form with multiple writhing limbs and a skull-like face. A system panel identifies it as a golden ant beast, a plant-type stage 9 elite. Terrified, Zhuxiang recognizes the beast. It's a golden ant beast, a dangerous creature far beyond what they expected. Panicking, he desperately shouts for help from his pet, Big Mouth. But Big Mouth gets captured by another tendril mid-air, rendering it useless. Hanging upside down and completely restrained, Zhuxiang realizes how dire the situation is as silence falls. He's left speechless. He realizes in panic that the golden ant beast isn't just restraining him, it's actively draining his energy. He urgently calls for Lindsay's help. Lindsay, however, calmly reminds him that they agreed each person would handle one beast. He doesn't look very concerned. Desperate and upside down, Zhuxiang pleads for teamwork. He insists this situation is different. The enemy is far too powerful, and they need to join forces. Lindsay casually walks away with Rock Beast, waving off Zhuxiang's cries. He encourages Zhuxiang, saying he trusts him to find a way to win and promises to leave it to him. Zhuxiang panics as the golden root tightens around him. He desperately begs Lindsay not to leave and pleads for help. Lindsay stops and says he can help but wants to know what's in it for him, showing he's not about to help for free. Frustrated, Zhuxiang curses him internally for trying to negotiate at a time like this. But realizing he has no choice, he offers to share secrets he knows about others. Interested, Lindsay turns to face the golden tree and simply replies, "Talk." He blurts out a major secret he knows about the exclusive soul skills of Lai Pengyan and Guo Zinyi. He begs Lindsay to save him first. Lindsay processes the intel, thinking it's important. He compares the soul skills to Rhoda's enhancement techniques. Then, he calls out to his pet, Rock Beast. Responding to the command, Rock Beast prepares to attack. Lindsay instructs it to use its crushing strike and aim for the enemy's abdomen. Rock Beast dashes forward with full power, ready to execute a powerful attack against the Golden Ant Beast. As Rock Beast charges in, the Golden Ant Beast quickly counters, striking the ground with multiple vine in a defensive barrage. Rock Beast weaves through the incoming attacks, dashing aggressively with glowing red eyes, closing the gap between it and the monster. Just as Rock Beast leaps in for a blow, a thick golden limb intercepts, swatting it away with incredible force before it can strike the target. Rock Beast is slammed hard against the ground by the golden root. Rock Beast launches a fierce strike with incredible speed, aiming directly at the Golden Ant Beast. Golden vines shoot up in response, clashing with explosive force and completely intercepting the attack. In an instant, Rock Beast is wrapped tightly by multiple vines, completely immobilized and restrained in mid-air. Watching from a distance, Lindsay assesses the situation. He notes that even a Stage 2 Level 9 Rock Beast is struggling against the Stage 3 Level 9 Golden Ant Beast, revealing the gap in power. Lindsay watches as Rock Beast is completely restrained by the golden vines. Realizing it's stuck, he thinks about secretly summoning another pet, his trump card, the Snow Girl. Suddenly, something unexpected has caught his attention. Despite being tightly bound, Rock Beast's eyes glow intensely. It lets out a low growl, resisting the pressure as its body begins to react. Lindsay shouts out in alarm, calling Rock Beast's name. Rock Beast begins to power up. Lindsay shouts at it, demanding it break free with everything it has. The Golden Ant Beast notices the rising energy and reacts. Its vines surge forward, tightening around Rock Beast in a panic. The monster wraps Rock Beast completely, entangling it into a massive vine cocoon, trying to suppress it with overwhelming force. Rock Beast's body begins to disintegrate into energy, vanishing inside the vine prison. Zhu Xing screams in horror. He believes Rock Beast is finished, completely absorbed by the Golden Ant Beast. Lindsay stands before a glowing portal as a countdown reads 1 minute and 54 seconds. The number of current participants is shown to be 27. Inside the observation room, the instructor watches closely. He reflects on Lindsay's decision to challenge a high-difficulty trial, curious to witness the true strength this young prodigy possesses. The Golden Ant Beast tendrils writhe through the air. Suddenly, dark and purple energy begins to spiral upward, forming a chaotic vortex. Lindsay looks surprised as he notices a sudden change in his surroundings. In a burst of energy, the Rock Beast, Lindsay's pet, undergoes a powerful transformation. Now enveloped in glowing blue energy, its form becomes humanoid and shadowy, radiating strength. A system notification appears, announcing the unlocking of a new skill, Ghost Spirit Form, active for 30 seconds. Zhu Xing, now trapped by the Golden Ant Beast, hangs upside down in shock. He stares at the transformed Rock Beast, unable to comprehend what he's seeing. From a distance, Lindsay observes that the dual attribute beast now possesses unique abilities. He's eager to test how powerful the Rock Beast is in this new ghost spirit form. The Ant Beast lets out a furious roar and charges forward. Its glowing golden tendrils lash out wildly, launching a fierce assault. The transformed Rock Beast, now in its ghost spirit form, swiftly dodges the incoming attacks. The tendrils pass right through it without causing any damage. Zhu Xing watches in shock as the Golden Ant Beast continues its rampage, but its attacks prove useless. Lindsay realizes that the Rock Beast, in this state, has no physical body, allowing it to completely negate all physical attacks and control effects. Lindsay looks at the system interface that displays the Rock Beast's skill list. One of the skills, Shatter Impact, is currently disabled, but others like Stone Projectile and Earth Spike remain usable. He calmly issues a command to the Rock Beast. He instructs it to use its Stone Projectile skill and target the enemy's eyes and abdomen for maximum damage. Responding immediately, the Rock Beast in Ghost Spirit form charges energy into its hands. Blue aura surges around it, ready to launch with precision. The stones are fired with immense force, striking the Golden Ant Beast directly. The Golden Ant Beast lets out a cry and stumbles backward, visibly injured. Its body twists in pain while Zhu Xing still trapped. Lindsay observes calmly, but his thoughts are serious. He realizes that the level difference between them and the Golden Ant Beast is too great. The damage they've dealt so far isn't enough to bring it down. Zhu Xing, panicking, yells for his pet Big Mouth to run while carrying him away. Big Mouth bolts forward with surprising speed, dragging Zhu Xing to safety. While bouncing along, Zhu Xing curses his luck. He's not worried about injuries, he's worried that if Lin Zi dies, all the points Lin earned would go to waste. From the distance, Lin Zi watches them retreat. Big Mouth bounces off into the woods with Zhu Xing on its back, disappearing into the forest. The golden ant beast roars again, unleashing a barrage of golden tendrils. Lin Zi calmly calls out the name of Snowball. The tendrils rush toward him, but he stands firm. With a burst of energy, Snowball appears beside Lin Zi, surrounding them both in a shimmering blue aura. Snowballs begins activating her power. She unleashes her powerful ice magic. Giant frozen cyclones erupt around her as a snowstorm covers the battlefield. The golden ant beast roars, caught off guard by the sudden temperature drop. Amid the swirling ice, the transformed rock beast, now with his first form, steps forward. Lin Zi gives the order, and the rock beast launches forward at full speed. It activates the skill Shatter Impact, channeling all its power into a destructive charge. With a loud crash, the rock beast smashes directly into the golden ant beast's face. The collision explodes with energy, delivering a devastating strike as the monster lets out a deafening scream. Snowball prepares wave of ice magic, her pink eyes glowing as she channels her frost energy. She raises her hand, summoning another powerful spell to freeze the battlefield. The rock beast, still in its armored red form, hears Lin Zi's command. The rock beast pierces through the frozen battlefield, its shadowy form crashing into the golden ant beast again. Lin Zi steps forward with determination in his eyes. He clenches his fist and declares it's not over yet. With a final burst of strength, Lin Zi launches a powerful blow directly into the golden ant beast's face. The impact explodes with golden energy, combining his force with the rock beast's assault. The battlefield falls silent as the golden ant beast collapses, shattered and defeated. Ice fragments and broken tendrils scatter across the field, while Snowball and the rock beast stand victorious. A system prompt appears, confirming the golden ant beast has been eliminated. Its glowing eyes fade as the battle officially ends. Lin Zi receives confirmation of the kill, and the victory is sealed. The rock beast evolves to stage 3, unlocking a new advanced form of its ghost spirit mode. This new form doubles its previous power and duration, allowing it to copy Lin Zi's movements and abilities for 10 seconds at the cost of 100 achievement points. Lin Zi opens the reward panel and grins. He praises the usefulness of the new skill, feeling that spending achievement points on it was completely worth it. He reflects on how the rock beast's ghost spirit form boosted their combat strength by over 100%, and even managed to level up during the battle. He's thrilled by the gains. This was a massive win. The screen displays Lin Zi's total score. 180 points remain, with 1 hour and 20 minutes left on the clock. The instructor watches from the headquarters, stunned by Lin Zi's performance. He especially notes the appearance of Snowball, the frost-type pet. If his guess is right, she's a rare beast with incredible potential. He wonders how Lin Zi was able to tame such a creature. Meanwhile, Lin Zi reflects to himself. Defeating a rare stage 3 beast granted a massive 60-point bonus. He'll have to start being careful to not attract too much attention. But just as he's thinking this, he suddenly senses something strange nearby and questions what's going on. Zhu Xing and his pet Big Mouth arrive back at the battlefield, shocked to see the shattered remains of the golden ant beast. With wide eyes, Zhu Xing yells in disbelief. He can't believe that Lin Zi actually managed to defeat the golden ant beast all by himself. But his confusion quickly turns to curiosity. Pointing at Snowball, who's still standing beside Lin Zi, he asks who she is. He wonders if she's another examinee, and which academy she belongs to. Lin Zi, caught off guard, realizes he forgot to unsummon Snowball. Internally panicking, he knows he can't keep up his low-profile act now that Zhu Xing has seen her. Zhu Xing is still stunned as he points at Snowball. He loudly wonders what's going on, assuming she must be a humanoid ice-type beast that somehow defeated the golden ant beast herself. He begins analyzing it, further questioning whether Snowball is an independent beast or someone's summoned pet. He nervously speculates that if she's a pet, then her master must be nearby and dangerously strong. Zhu Xing panics even more. Realizing she's an ice type, he wonders if her master could be the rumored Lin Zi. If that's true, then Lindsay's strength is clearly far above their level, and they might be the next targets. Lindsay stands silently, unable to say anything. Watching Zhuxing spiral into his own exaggerated assumptions, he just internally sighs, knowing things are now way off script. A system warning suddenly appears, fake summon attacking us. Snowball, facing the others, seems to be preparing for something. Lindsay and the rock beast turn their attention toward her. Snowball looks genuinely confused, tilting her head as question marks float around her. Zhuxing grows more anxious. He points at Snowball and nervously tells Lindsay that she's staring directly at them. Lindsay silently nods, trying to keep calm. Without warning, Snowball unleashes a flurry of icicles into the air. Massive ice spikes rain down toward their direction. Snowball calmly gathers energy in her hand, casting another wave of ice magic. Zhuxing begins panicking. He thinks if both he and Lindsay die here, it'd be an embarrassing end. He decides it's safer to sacrifice someone else's pet before running. Zhuxing shouts at Big Mouth. The creature looks confused as Zhuxing lunges toward it with the intention of using it as a shield. Zhuxing yells that it's for protection, trying to justify his selfish survival tactic while his pet is left stunned. Snowball calmly announces she's fine and voluntarily returns to her summoning space. The rock beast also appears. A message displays, "You too, return." Zhuxing, still panting from panic, leans against Big Mouth, who looks just as exhausted and confused. Zhuxing wipes his sweat and smirks proudly. Perfect, he thinks. Not only did he survive the crisis, but he also earned points. Zhuxing, drenched in sweat, asks if things are finally safe. He's startled to see Lindsay. Lindsay calmly rises from inside Big Mouth. Protected by a glowing barrier, he casually asks if he can come out now, revealing he's been safe the whole time. Zhuxing panics again, yelling at Big Mouth not to release him yet because the threat might still be behind them. Internally, he's confused. Lindsay should have been digested by now, yet he's perfectly fine. Big Mouth makes a strange sound as it struggles with something. Big Mouth suddenly spits Lindsay out, sending him tumbling onto the grass. Zhuxing watches in shock, trying to understand how Lindsay managed to survive inside his pet. Lindsay calmly adjusts his jacket and casually comments that maybe Big Mouth just had trouble digesting him. Zhuxing quickly changes tone, suggesting that if the monster had kept chasing them, they could have teamed up to defeat it together. Zhuxing forces a smile. Inside, he admits that this guy is actually scarier than he thought. Lindsay confirms that the enemy doesn't seem to be chasing them anymore. He then asks Zhuxing to finally explain what the exclusive soul technique is all about. Zhuxing suggests they head to the stone monument first to check if their team made it into the top 10 rankings. He agrees to explain everything along the way. While walking, Zhuxing explains that exclusive soul techniques are rare skills awakened by only a few exceptionally gifted beast tamers. They're unique and personalized based on one's physique and talent, not something that can be taught or learned from books. Curious, Lindsay then asks what kind of exclusive soul techniques Guozini and Lai Pengyun, two other individuals, possess, wanting to understand how his peers compare. Zhuxing runs excitedly toward the large red stone monument, eager to check the latest rankings. The ranking list lights up. Lai Pengyun 370, Guozini 340, Tang Yang 250, Lu Gang 210, Lindsay 180, and others down to the 10th spot with 100 points. There's less than an hour left in the trial. Zhuxing scans the board and, as expected, doesn't find his name. He sighs in disappointment. But he quickly pumps himself up. There's still time left, and the 10th place only has 100 points. If he can add Lindsay's contribution to his total, he's confident he'll break into the top 10 rankings. Lindsay walks up to the stone pillar with Zhuxing, both staring at the leaderboard. Zhuxing tries to call out to him, attempting to confirm. Zhuxing's eyes widen as he sees Lindsay's wrist glow with red numbers. Lindsay reveals his wrist. His score is clearly shown as 180 points. Zhuxing leaps forward in shock and amazement. He shouts in disbelief, this quiet guy actually has 180 points. He realizes just how underestimated Lindsay truly was. The leaderboard updates, showing Lindsay 180 points in the 5th position. Zhuxing crouches, trembling beside the monument. He stammers, struggling to ask what Lindsay's name is. Lindsay coolly responds, stating his name without hesitation, Lindsay. Zhuxing freaks out completely. Pointing at Lindsay, he yells that Lindsay was pretending to be weak the whole time, while secretly being way ahead of him. Zhuxing finally realizes Lindsay's full strength. He had 2 pets all along, including the powerful ice-type girl. Zhu curses himself for not recognizing that Lindsay was hiding his true abilities. Lindsay calmly reminds Zhuxing that if it weren't for his help, Zhu would have already been eliminated by the Golden Ant Beast. He demands Zhu to finally share the information he promised. Zhuxing snaps in frustration, yelling that Lindsay will never get what he wants. His face twists with rage as he launches forward, ordering his pet to attack. In a shocking betrayal, Zhu commands Big Mouth to devour Lindsay completely. Lindsay counters instantly. His ice-type pet and rock guardian spring into action. Snowball unleashes her true power. A majestic ice dragon forms in her hand. With a single cast, she freezes Big Mouth solid, shocking Zhuxing, who watches helplessly as his strongest pet turns into a block of crystal. Zhuxing collapses to the ground, trembling. Lindsay, flanked by his powerful pets, towers over him. Lindsay coolly approaches Zhuxing, declaring that although his score isn't high, it's still equivalent to a rare 3rd rank beast, enough for him to take. Terrified, Zhuxing begs for mercy, yelling that he'll talk, just don't hurt him. But Lindsay changes his mind. With Snowball by his side, he calmly says he no longer cares what kind of soul technique others have, it makes no difference to him now. Zhuxing freezes in confusion, struggling to understand what Lindsay means. Lindsay stands confidently before Zhuxing, declaring that none of them are even close to being his match. Panicked, Zhuxing screams out for Snow Girl and tries to command her. Suddenly, a sharp flash slices through the air too fast for him to react. A brutal strike lands directly in Zhuxing's abdomen, blasting him back with blood spraying, his eyes wide in disbelief. Zhuxing, heavily injured, mutters Lindsay's name as Pengyun approaches with poison ivy by his side. Pengyun smirks, saying he's waited a long time for this moment, as his twisted pet beast snarls beside him. Zhuxing yells out in panic, warning his boss that Lindsay is dangerous and has a powerful ice pet beast. Lindsay calmly stares forward, recognizing the new arrival. He notes that their unfinished business will now be settled. Pengyun turns away, dismissing the green beast and telling it to retreat. Zhuxing laughs confidently. He proudly claims that even though he lost, his points were handed over to the boss. The poison ivy smirks and begins to vanish in a puff of smoke. Thick fog spreads around the area as the creature disappears completely. The leaderboard updates, showing Pengyun at the top with 430 points, while Lindsay remains in 5th place. Pengyun steps forward confidently and demands that Lindsay reveal his full strength. He wants to settle who truly deserves the top spot among beginners. Lindsay calmly responds, saying he has no interest in such a title and is willing to let Pengyun have it. Pengyun smirks, interpreting Lindsay's words as a sign of surrender. He bursts into mocking laughter, calling Lindsay a coward. He declares his plan to eliminate all the top contenders: Guo Zini, Tan Yang, Lu Gang, and Guan Ning. With a twisted expression, Pengyun confesses he finds destroying others utterly thrilling. The thought alone excites him. He suddenly snaps to a realization: Guan Ning is nearby and the perfect next target. Lindsay looks at the ranking screen and notices something alarming. He realizes Guan Ning, Guo Zini, and Tan Yang are all in the same area. He quickly deduces Guan Ning is in danger. Realizing the urgency, Lindsay dashes off toward the east, aiming to protect Guan Ning. Pengyun mocks him for running and commands his pet beast to intercept Lindsay. The poison ivy leaps high into the air, attempting to cut Lindsay off mid-route. But before it can block him, the poison ivy attacks first, restraining Rock Beast tightly with its chains. The vine entangles Lindsay mid-air, binding him tightly within its coils. Pengyun mocks him, claiming he's nothing more than an overrated name. He orders the poison ivy to drain Lindsay's energy completely, warning him not to try escaping again. Lindsay grits his teeth, cursing under his breath as his energy begins to flare. Pengyun arrogantly dismisses Lindsay, unaware that Ice Queen is rapidly closing in behind him. He turns in shock, realizing her presence too late. In an instant, Ice Queen freezes him solid with a powerful burst of ice magic. The poison ivy halts its attack, stunned by its master's sudden incapacitation. The Ice Queen prepares another wave of sharp ice crystals. Rock Beast lunges and shatters the ice sculpture. Lin-Z calmly leans toward Ice Queen and reminds her, "I already told you." Without turning back, the trio Lin-Z, Ice Queen, and Rock Beast walk away, leaving the frozen Penguin statue behind. The poison ivy writhes weakly on the ground, still clinging to life despite being frozen and shattered. A man approaches and observes the scene, surprised by the creature's resilience even after a brutal defeat. This man, identified as Liu Gang, grins confidently. He sees an opportunity, comparing the situation to hunters being hunted in turn. Liu Gang raises his hand, aiming for the frozen statue of Penguin. He declares that the points are his now. Liu Gang summons his iron-armored dragon, a rank 2 stage 9 beast, and commands it to attack the frozen Lai Penguin directly. Confident, Liu Gang mocks his opponent, saying even if pet beasts can be revived, the same can't be said for their master. The dragon beast shatters the ice statue with a powerful strike. Liu Gang smirks, believing this guarantees his first-place rank. However, as he checks his wrist, he's confused. His points remain unchanged, and he wonders aloud why they didn't increase. Liu Gang stands puzzled as he notices something strange. Despite his confident strike, the points haven't transferred and nearby. He turns around, suspicious, only to spot a vine creeping closer. Before he can react, the vine launches at him with fierce speed, stabbing directly into him in a surprise attack. Penguin calmly walks up, explaining that there's no harm in revealing secrets to someone already eliminated, as Liu Gang is ensnared. He reveals his terrifying secret technique, mimicry synchronization, as his face shifts into a monster form. Liu Gang is caught off guard, trying to call his pet for help, but he's already being constricted tighter by the vine. The iron-armored dragon attempts to respond to the command, but it's too late. It's already entangled and pinned down by the vine beast. A burst of smoke signals its defeat, as the vine completely suppresses the armored beast. Lin-Z swiftly approach from above. He spots them and immediately becomes alert. He warns them, saying that if they dare touch his little sister, they'll face consequences. With fierce determination, Lin-Z rushes down at high speed. His eyes burn with rage as he declares that they are as good as dead. On the ground, several people are already gathered. Lin-Z's sister is surrounded by creatures, including a beast, a dark spider, Xinyi and Tanyong standing guard. Suddenly, a small white dragon with horns appears. The screen displays its identity, Coiling Pattern Baby Dragon, Stage 2 Level 8, Dragon Type. Guan struggles to move, trapped within a water spell. She tries to break free but fails. Tanyong coldly tells her not to waste her strength. There's no escape from a spirit master's water prison. Behind him, a terrifying water ghost creature floats in the air. A label appears, Second Rank Spirit Master, Ghost Water Type. Tanyong confidently raises his hand, explaining that the water prison is impossible to escape from once activated. He turns to Xinyi, saying she can take over. He suggests that if she defeats Guan and claims her points, she'll have a real chance at becoming the top freshman. Xinyi smiles teasingly and questions if he's hesitating because Guan is too pretty to hurt. Tanyong doesn't respond, staying silent as Xinyi watches him curiously. Tanyong stands with his arms crossed. He responds to Xinyi's teasing, saying he's not interested in other girls, hinting that Xinyi is the only one he cares about. As Guan remains trapped inside the water spell, Xinyi gets ready to strike. But Tanyong interrupts her, telling her to wait. She's confused and asks what they're waiting for. Xinyi's eyes light up with excitement. She smirks and says they should wait for the big fish to take the bait. Suddenly, Lin-Z bursts in at high speed, attacking with deadly force. The impact shocks Tanyong, who immediately reacts with surprise. Tanyong activates a water shield to protect Xinyi from the sudden strike. Waves surge up around them as he barely blocks the powerful attack. Lin-Z's pet beast, Snowball, crashes down with force, scattering black debris and emitting purple smoke. Lin-Z walks forward calmly, flanked by his two powerful companions, his rock beast and Snowball. Lin-Z glares at Tanyong and Xinyi. He demands that they release Guan immediately before it's too late. Xinyi and Tanyong are shocked when they realize Lin-Z has two powerful pet beasts. Inside the water prison, Guan is surprised to see both of Lin Zi's pets appear together. But she quickly reminds herself it's not the time to be shocked. She warns Lin Zi that Tanyang and Xin Yi are strong and tells him to be careful. Lin Zi, with his rock beast and Snowball behind him, confidently steps forward. He tells Guan to hang on, he's coming to rescue her. Tanyang narrows his eyes and points at Lin Zi, asking if he's the one who supposedly cleared the ultra-difficult challenge and obtained legendary-level pets. Xin Yi smiles and confirms Lin Zi's identity, saying it all makes sense now, he always felt different from others. Tanyang rolls up his sleeves. He says he'll find out Lin Zi's true strength by facing him directly. Xin Yi warns him to be cautious, sensing that Lin Zi isn't an ordinary opponent. Tanyang charges forward with confidence. He tells Xin Yi that if he beats Lin Zi, he'll give her the points, making her the top freshman. If he loses, she's free to take his points instead. As he launches his attack, he commands his ghost spirit to restrain Lin Zi. A burst of energy and blue magic fills the air as Tanyang tries to take control of the battle. Lin Zi channels his power and activates a fierce soul-based technique. With a surge of yellow energy, Lin Zi launches a devastating attack called Tidal Force Impact, breaking through the enemy's defense with explosive force. Tanyang watches in disbelief, sweating as he realizes how overwhelming Lin Zi's soul technique is. He didn't expect this level of strength. Before he can react, Lin Zi's rock beast suddenly lunges forward, landing a direct punch on Tanyang, catching him completely off guard. Tanyang retaliates by summoning a giant water pillar from the ground, launching Lin Zi's rock beast into the air with a powerful blast. Before the beast can recover, it's trapped mid-air in a swirling ball of water, completely immobilized by Tanyang's technique. Pointing upward, Tanyang commands to catch one beast first, focusing their efforts on restraining Lin Zi's companions one by one. Lin Zi calmly watches and activates another ability, Ghost Spirit Mode. Lin Zi's ghost form activates and leaps into the air, breaking through the water trap effortlessly. His body pulses with dark energy as he descends with speed and power. With precision, he strikes from above using a ground-piercing attack. Purple energy erupts, and spikes burst from below. Dark aura spreads around his spirit beast, which morphs into a shadowy figure and unleashes a powerful ghost skill, devastating the area with waves of cursed energy. Tanyang grins wildly and reveals that his spirit beast is also ghost type. Confidently, he declares that he too is immune to physical attacks, laughing as if the tables have turned. Xin Yi suddenly shouts a warning, telling Tanyang to watch out behind him. Tanyang turns too late, he's struck hard and sent flying into the air by a powerful blow. He glances back in shock and sees the ghostly spirit standing in a fierce battle stance. A label appears, Ghost Spirit Clone. It's revealed that Lin Zi had used a decoy to ambush Tanyang from behind. Lin Zi calmly watches as his ghost clone lands a solid blow, sending Tanyang crashing to the ground. He remarks that unfortunately, Tanyang isn't immune to physical damage. Tanyang grits his teeth, stunned by the sudden attack. In desperation, he yells to activate a sealing spell, Necro Spirit Seal, hoping to suppress Lin Zi's ghost power before things spiral further out of control. A powerful surge of energy erupts from his hand as the sealing technique activates, aiming straight toward Lin Zi's clone with explosive force. Tanyang activates a powerful sealing technique, aiming to suppress Lin Zi's ghost beast. The spell wraps the creature in glowing chains, pinning it down with magical energy. Lin Zi realizes the ghost form may be vulnerable to Tanyang's necromancer abilities. He calmly tells his beast to revert to normal form to avoid getting countered. Tanyang laughs confidently as Lin Zi's clone dissipates. He mocks the so-called genius, saying he's not as impressive as the rumors claimed. But Lin Zi remains calm. He raises his hand, declaring that it's time they witness his true strength. Lin Zi soars into the sky with a burst of blinding light. Xin Yi watches in shock as the sheer intensity of his energy leaves her frozen in place. Tanyang clenches his fists, realizing the truth: Lin Zi is far beyond what they can handle. He admits that if things continue like this, they won't stand a chance. Xin Yi's eyes widen with fear, cold sweat drips down her face as she realizes the terrifying gap in strength. In her mind, there's no doubt now they're going to be completely crushed. Xin Yi suddenly stops the fight, raising her hands and shouting for everyone to wait. Tanyong, standing behind her, looks ready to engage. She suggests maybe they should talk things over instead of fighting. Lindsay responds calmly, questioning if she really wants to negotiate now. Xinyi explains that most of them have already secured top 10 ranks in the competition, so there's no point in continuing to fight. She adds that they'll all be classmates soon, so it's better not to create conflict. Lindsay silently agrees, signaling Snowball to stand down. Snowball backs off as they decide not to escalate the situation. Xinyi urgently shouts for Tanyong to stop and release the captured girl. She runs toward him as Guan remains trapped in a water prison, struggling to break free. Tanyong hesitates and thinks logically releasing Guan is safer since any alliance between their opponents would put them at a disadvantage. Xinyi insists he do as she says. Tanyong, though annoyed, agrees with a sigh and casts the spell to release the water prison. The water restraints explode with a splash, and Guan is finally freed, dropping to the ground with force as the spell breaks. Guan rushes into Lindsay's arms, thanking him for rescuing her. Lindsay reassures her that as long as he's around, no one can harm her. Lindsay then turns serious. He tells the others that although they were able to save his sister, their performance wasn't impressive enough to satisfy him. Furious, Tanyong's eyes glow red with rage. He yells that he won't forgive Lindsay and charges to fight, while shouting at Xinyi to get to safety. Xinyi suddenly raises her hand, surprising everyone. She confidently claims that she has a solution. Lindsay looks at her with confusion, unsure what she means. With determination, Xinyi announces that she can use her perception ability to help awaken someone's unique soul skill. Standing with Lindsay, Snowball, and Guan, he admits that her proposal isn't bad, it might just work. Tanyong angrily calls out to Xinyi, trying to stop her. He insists there's no need to help Lindsay, calling him an annoying brat. Shocked, Tanyong watches as Xinyi silently ignores him and walks forward with determination. He begins to suspect that Xinyi may truly care about Lindsay. With power surging around her, Xinyi stands confidently, shouting Lindsay's name as she prepares to activate her special ability. Suddenly, a voice interrupts and a hand is raised. Another person steps in, apologizing for being late and says they want to join in too. Pengyun appears in the distance with a powerful aura, surprising everyone. One of the students shouts in disbelief, realizing Pengyun is still alive. With a confident smirk, Pengyun says he's glad everyone is gathered here, it saves him the trouble of hunting them down one by one. Tanyong grits his teeth and clenches his fist in frustration. He didn't expect another strong enemy to show up, calling the situation truly annoying. Meanwhile, Xinyi suggests a strategy to Lindsay and the others. If they join forces, they might be able to defeat Pengyun and take the number 1 spot. Lindsay senses the atmosphere. Things are getting chaotic, and he realizes that the situation is no longer under control. A countdown timer appears, only 10 seconds left. From a control room, the instructor observes the students through a crystal projection. He notes that he'd like to retain these promising freshmen, but if they really start fighting, valuable talent could be lost. He turns to the group behind him and instructs them to act. He's only giving them 10 minutes to calm the students down and restore order. Tanyong questions Xinyi, surprised that she would genuinely want to help Lindsay. He suggests using Pengyun to suppress Lindsay instead and take advantage of the situation together. Xinyi apologizes and firmly declares that she truly wants to help Lindsay. Lindsay and Guan watch silently in the background. Tanyong is stunned. His mind spirals into shock, misinterpreting her actions as her falling in love with Lindsay. Furious and heartbroken, Tanyong screams in rage and vows to defeat both of them with his own hands. Pengyun, excited and ready for battle, invites everyone to attack him at once. But suddenly, a powerful voice commands him to stop. Everyone is stunned as they're told the competition is over, they've all been accepted. However, a special challenge has been arranged just for them. A glowing portal appears, and one by one, figures begin stepping through it. A group of elite second-year students emerges. The instructor explains that these are the academy's top-ranked students, and the new recruits must fight them. Winning grants glory. Losing means their names will be erased from the records. Guan protesting that the matchup is unfair. As freshmen, they haven't even settled into the first year, yet how could they possibly win against experienced second years? Tanyong and the others agree. They've already been through multiple battles and their spirit beasts are exhausted, making it hard to continue. Lindsay steps forward with a calm smile and simply says, "Let's go." Pengyun watches from afar, commenting that it's unfortunate. But since they couldn't eliminate the new students, they'll now be schoolmates and there will be plenty of chances to compete again in the future. An angry second-year student yells at the group, demanding they first pass the upperclassmen's test before celebrating. Xingyi turns to Lindsay with a hopeful smile and asks if they can now consider themselves allies. She looks at him with admiration, while Lindsay responds with a confident but unreadable glance. Guan, visibly flustered, pouts and complains that Lindsay hasn't answered her yet, annoyed at being left out of the moment. Lindsay analyzes the situation, recognizing that the reward from the purification trial is valuable since it boosts both physical strength and soul power. He observes that the opposing side only sent 4 people, while his group has 5, suggesting their opponents may have underestimated them. He then turns to Xingyi and sets a condition. If she wants to be seen as a true ally, she must prove herself in battle. Lindsay explains that she'll have to fight either him or his sister's team to earn that trust. Guan instantly protests, expressing that she wants to stay by Lindsay's side. Lindsay gently assures Guan that he'll take on one opponent himself, and tells her and Xingyi to handle one together since they have a better chance as a team. One of the senior student named Zaidu steps forward and challenges them, asking who's ready to face him. He even jokes that they can come together if they're scared. Tanyong boldly volunteers, determined to prove his strength and protect Xingyi's dignity. Zaidu smirks at his courage and summons his powerful insect-type beast, a third stage slicing mantis. He warns that courage alone won't be enough to win. Pengyun chuckles sinisterly and announces he won't hold back, especially just because his opponent is a girl. A girl calmly summons her beast, a powerful thunder lion glowing with blue lightning. With a twisted smile, the girl taunts Pengyun, daring them to go all out and not to hold anything back against her. Lindsay evaluates the remaining group members. He notes that among the 2 girls, one of them appears relatively weaker and may need more support in the battle ahead. A flashy second-year student named Wu Yushin steps forward, striking a dramatic pose and teasing Lindsay. He jokes about their hairstyles and suggests they have a showdown. Lindsay responds casually, accepting the challenge with a confident, "All right." He politely tells the senior student to go easy on him, though his smile suggests he's more than ready for the challenge. Nearby, a blue-haired second-year girl comments that this batch of freshman girls looks cute and harmless, drawing attention from Guan and Xingyi. However, she declares she hates cute girls more than anything and refuses to hold back in the fight. Her name is Huey. Xingyi and Guan are both caught off guard by her intense energy. A powerful aura swirls around them. In the examination hall, many students slump in frustration after the results are announced. One blonde student sighs while another calls it unfortunate they didn't make the cut. A girl tearfully tells her friend Zioyan that they've definitely been eliminated. She's devastated, while Zioyan tries to comfort her. Zioyan agrees it's unlikely they'll pass, noting that the competition was filled with geniuses. Unless a miracle happens, they don't stand a chance. A boy who also failed is overwhelmed, clutching his head and shouting in despair. After going through the whole ordeal, he still got cut at the end. A silver-haired boy rubs his head, still feeling pain and frustration from the exam. He mutters about how sore he is. One of the instructor places a hand on another's shoulder. A boy named Gao Wangxiang steps forward and says he'll take over the next group of examinees. Another instructor recognizes him and greets him with respect. The instructor complains, saying Gao arrived too quickly to steal students he worked hard to select. Gao defends himself, stating that the current testing methods are too extreme and may cost them good talent. He mentions he still has 10 available spots open for admission. Gao Wangxiang smiles confidently, saying it's only fair to search for hidden talent from the group of students who didn't make it. There could still be some gold among them. The other instructor agrees to let him take charge and leaves the arrangement to Gao. Gao turns to the disappointed students and announces exciting news. Although they didn't make it into the top 10, he still has 10 open spots. Anyone who passes his test can still be accepted. The room erupts with joy. The previously rejected students are shocked and thrilled, excited by this unexpected second chance. Two girls excitedly hold hands, overjoyed that a miracle actually happened. One of them says they must try their best this time. Making it into the top 20 should be possible. The student clenches his fists, vowing that he won't miss this second chance. On the battlefield, Tanyong watches in shock as a massive tornado attack forms. He realizes the sheer gap in strength and yells that this is clearly a battle of overwhelming levels. A fighter taunts with a smug expression, calling him a loser and claiming victory. Bright blue energy blasts erupt violently. The girl standing beside a large beast acknowledges the opponent's stamina, but says the fight is over. Pengyun with glowing eyes glares forward with fury. The girl calmly questions if her opponent can no longer hear. A red demon warrior mocks the idea of genius and declares that true strength is what rules this academy. Huey scolds the younger girl, saying instead of wasting time on petty fights, she should focus on training and self-improvement. Inside the school, the instructors debate their methods. One criticizes the harsh elimination process, while the other defends it, believing only pressure reveals true talent. Gao chuckles confidently as he addresses his colleague. A powerful icy beast is unleashed, drawing attention as one instructor notes that someone has resisted the earlier strategy. A majestic creature called the Glacial Warhorse forms from ice, towering over a stunned Wu Yushin. Shocked and wide-eyed, Wu Yushin screams in disbelief, unable to accept what he's witnessing. Lin Zi looks on as the icy beast towers before Wu Yushin. He calmly addresses the headmaster. Snowball appears beside him, confirming surrender on their behalf. Instructor laughed loudly, saying this time they've truly struck gold. He admits that they've seen many geniuses before, but this one stands out completely. They observe the boy and feel as if they're seeing the younger versions of the legendary union's top 8 beast tamers. The boy's performance reminds them of those elites in their youth. As they continue watching the energy projection, instructor comments that it's truly astonishing. Both instructors are captivated by the boy's overwhelming power. Gao Wangxiang speculates that even the union's top 8 might not have had such terrifying power at his age. He confirms the boy's name is Lin Zi and insists they must get him assigned to their class. Instructor jokingly tells Gao Wangxiang not to steal students like this, reminding him that student placement should follow official rules. Gao Wangxiang just laughs casually in response. Wu Yushin sits defeated, admitting his loss. The system confirms his defeat and marks the match as concluded. Guan jumps in excitement, cheering that her brother actually won. She's thrilled and praises Hogwanhwa amazing it is. Xin Yi didn't expect Lin Zi to be this powerful, it completely caught her off guard. Tanyong slams his fists into the ground in frustration, yelling that there's still a gap, he's still not strong enough. He vows to turn his pain into motivation and tells them to wait for his comeback. Spectators question whether Wu Yushin went easy on purpose, shocked that a newcomer like Lin Zi actually defeated a second-year student. Someone even refuses to believe it. Zaidu shouts not to underestimate them just because Lin Zi used tricks to win the last match. They ask if he's ready to continue. Lin Zi smirks calmly and responds, "Oh, all 3 of you want to come at once." As Lin Zi commands his pet to attack, the Mantis Beast charges forward with speed. The Mantis clashes directly with Rock Beast. The Mantis gains the upper hand, landing a direct hit that overwhelms Rock Beast. Watching from the observation room, instructor comments that it's enough they admit that the enemy was no match at all. Gao Wangxiang adds that continuing would only humiliate the second-year students and turn Lin Zi into a target of resentment. The other agrees. The instructor announces the end of the test and tells the students to withdraw their beasts. Zaidu shouts toward the instructor and admits that Lin Zi passed the trial alone. He also acknowledges that other students performed decently and says everyone's strength will improve after entering Zhongning Academy. Zaidu points at Lin Zi and says it's not over once Lin Zi officially enrolls, they'll have a rematch. He yells that it was just bad luck and calls Lin Zi despicable. Lin Zi smiles and gives a thumbs up, complimenting Zaidu by saying he's truly strong and doesn't even need to compete anymore. Enraged, Zaidu yells at Lin Zi to just wait. He calls him a punk and declares that he'll remember this moment. Lin Zi stands calmly with Snowball and Rook Beast by his side as several pillars of light fall to the ground. The system announces Lin Zi's reward for completing the awakening ritual. His stats visibly increase, his physique and willpower get a massive boost. The system congratulates Lin Zi for successfully enrolling in Zhongning Academy. He stands confidently as the energy surges around him, with his achievement points now displayed. Meanwhile, Rook Beast undergoes rapid transformation. Its growth level rises to 33%. Snowball's eyes glow with power as her evolution completes. The system notifies that her growth rate has increased to 12%, marking her progress. Lin Zi returns from the test and lands in the middle of a crowd. Guan runs to him, calling out, "Brother," while the surrounding students murmur in surprise at how strong he is. Still dazed, Lin Zi thinks to himself that every time he wakes up, the environment feels strangely familiar. Someone gently grabs his sleeve and quietly calls his name Lin Zi. Zingy leans in and tells Lin Zi that she can sense his Rook Beast still has an unlocked form waiting to be revealed. Lin Zi looks surprised and asks if it's true. Zingy adds that it also includes guidance on how to awaken his exclusive soul skill. She tells him to come find her after the test if he wants to know more. Lin Zi responds with a blank look and simply says, "Oh," as if unsure how to react. Instructor steps up and calls for silence. He announces that the top 10 scorers in this round will be admitted directly into the academy. The instructor announces the top scorer of this freshman exam. Everyone turns in surprise as the spotlight falls on the chosen one. He reveals the name, Lai Pengyun. The crowd bursts into applause, some with confused expressions while others clap out of obligation. Pengyun murmurs in disbelief, wondering how it could be him. Something doesn't seem right. He clenches his teeth in frustration, thinking that someone who looked stronger than him got ignored. He feels this is complete favoritism and injustice. Instructor Flo points out that Lin Zi clearly outperformed everyone and deserved the top freshman spot. Gao Wengxiang responds, questioning if this setup is truly fair. Instructor Flo reminds him that the rules for this trial were based on score rankings. Even so, he warns that placing all hope on one person is risky. Gao Wengxiang agrees reluctantly. The instructor announces that students who will join the recovery training should follow him. Those who already made it into the top 10 are dismissed and will return in 10 days for the entrance ceremony. Guan comforts her crying classmates, telling them not to worry. She encourages them to do their best in the upcoming recovery trial and assures them they can pass it if they try hard enough. Zhu Sheng approaches from the crowd and greets Lin Zi respectfully, calling him Big Brother Lin Zi. Lin Zi recognizes him and replies, "Oh, it's you." He admits he didn't expect Lin Zi to be so powerful, saying his intel must have been lacking. He compliments Lin Zi's recent battle against the second-year senior, calling it extremely impressive. Curious, Lin Zi asks him what he's planning. Zhu Xing suddenly clasps his hands together, grinning wide, and asks if Lin Zi would accept him as a junior disciple. He dramatically declares his endless admiration for Lin Zi, comparing it to a flowing river. Lin Zi responds calmly, saying he doesn't accept disciples. He adds that Zhu Xing doesn't even qualify for admission yet, questioning how he could be his junior. Determined, Zhu Xing dashes off, shouting that he'll definitely pass and begging Lin Zi to wait for him. Elsewhere, Pengyun lets out a cold snort. Guan excitedly celebrates their success, saying it's great that they officially passed the trial and became freshmen at Zhongning Academy. She suggests they skip going back today and enjoy a full day out in the city. Lin Zi stretches and agrees, saying that after 4 hours of intense testing, he really does need some proper relaxation. Blushing slightly, Guan proposes they spend the night in the city and return tomorrow instead. Lindsay smiles and agrees to Guan's suggestion, telling her, "All right." Guan softly smiles, visibly happy and a little shy, while thinking about spending the night together in the city. Suddenly, Lindsay looks at his phone and panics. He realizes all the hotel prices are shockingly high, with most listings showing a rate of $29.99. He exclaims in frustration at how expensive everything is. He stares at his phone in shock, remembering that he had already spent all his money last time to upgrade his stone monster. His remaining balance is now only 300. Guan notices his strange reaction and suggests they go eat something first. Lindsay nervously agrees. As the sun sets, they arrive at a luxurious restaurant with a fancy sign welcoming new students for a special dinner. Lindsay looks around in disbelief, wondering how a place like this even exists. It's filled with summoned beasts and students all dining together peacefully. Guan smiles warmly and says she had been looking forward to eating at this restaurant for a long time. She suggests they summon their beasts since they've fought hard and deserve a good meal too. He hesitates slightly but agrees, replying with a simple "okay" while sweating a bit. Soon, all their pets are seated with them at the table: Snowball, Rock Beast, and others ready to eat alongside their masters in the spacious, elegant hall. Snowball comments in surprise that the last time she saw Snowball, she looked like a little girl, and now she's evolved so quickly. She also adds that the transformation is beautiful and asks how Lindsay managed it. Lindsay replies that it might be because his bond with his beast is stronger than usual. He internally thinks that it's actually a complicated system thing he'll explain later when he gets a chance. For now, something else takes priority. Guan cheerfully calls him amazing and says he must teach her later. Then she shifts to the menu and suggests they start ordering food. But when Lindsay looks at the menu, he's shocked to see the outrageous prices: dishes costing $6,000, $10,000, even $18,000. Lindsay sweats nervously, staring at the menu and mumbling that there are just way too many zeros in the prices. Meanwhile, Rock Beast happily taps the table with forks, excited for food. Snowball gently pats the Fire Beast, who blushes with a heart above his head. The waitress politely asks what they'd like to order. Without hesitation, Guan excitedly points at several items on the menu, saying, "This one, this one, this one, and this one too." Lindsay is left stunned in silence. 5 minutes later, a full table of sparkling, luxurious dishes is served. Everything they ordered arrives beautifully plated. Everyone stares in awe at the food, shouting "Wow" in unison, while Lindsay lets out a defeated sigh. The group dives in happily, with Rock Beast even patting its belly in satisfaction after finishing. Lindsay nervously sweats, glancing toward Guan and thinking to himself, "What should I do? Do I run from the bill?" The waitress politely informs him the total cost is 37,000 yuan and asks how he would like to pay. Guan smiles and offers to handle it, saying she's secretly saved up quite a bit of personal money. Relieved, Lindsay breathes out and thinks, "I'm saved." As the waitress looks on in surprise. Outside, as they walk under the night sky, Guan happily stretches her arms and says the city looks beautiful at night. She cheerfully says she's excited to study in the city with her brother in the future. Lindsay thinks to himself that he urgently needs to make money, realizing it might be too late to rely on commission missions alone. As they walk together, they hear loud cheering and laughter coming from a nearby building. The glowing sign reads "Death Arena," and the crowd inside shouts in excitement, calling it awesome. The audience cheers as a muscular blue monster defeats its opponent with overwhelming power. It's introduced as the Four-Armed Beast, a Stage 3 Tier 1 monster. The monster roars confidently while the crowd praises its strength, calling it unstoppable. The host asks if there are any challengers. He announces that anyone who defeats the monster will win the full prize pool. He adds that joining the match only costs 300 yuan, and the winner could earn up to 50,000 yuan. Lindsay thinks to himself that this might be the perfect way to make money. He prepares to summon his creature, as energy bursts from his hand. Rock Beast explains the rules: no magic, no spiritual arts, only raw physical combat. If a pet dies or kills another, the arena holds no responsibility. Guan asks if he wants to watch the match, then questions whether he's planning to enter the fight himself. Lin Zi smirks confidently and says since they're offering money, he won't be polite about taking it. Lin Zi observes that the enemy monster is at 3rd rank stage 1, while his own rock ghost is at 2nd rank stage 9, so he decides it's best to upgrade it first. He places his hand on Rock Ghost's chest, initiating the upgrade with a glow of energy. The upgrade completes as Rock Ghost evolves to 3rd rank stage 2, consuming 780 achievement points and leaving 400. He reflects that the higher the level, the more achievement points are needed for upgrades. Xinyi is shocked and asks if Rock Ghost just leveled up, wondering how he did it. He casually replies that maybe Rock Ghost leveled up because he ate well, then leads them toward the arena. Xinyi cheers with confidence, saying she believes he can definitely win the match. He gives a confident smile. The host announces a new challenger has entered, hyping up the audience as Lin Zi steps toward the ring with Rock Ghost. The host is shocked to see Lin Zi and Rock Beast step into the arena, wondering why someone like him would join such a deadly match. The crowd mocks him, laughing loudly and saying he must be drunk or clueless. They also ridicule the Rock Ghost. Rock Ghost stays silent but emits a quiet growl in response to the crowd's mockery. Rock Ghost calmly watches as 4-armed beast steps forward. The man smirks and calls Lin Zi a kid, warning that if his pet, the 4-armed beast, accidentally kills him in the fight, he shouldn't be blamed for it. Lin Zi politely requests the man to go all out. He shows no fear, keeping his eyes half closed as he responds with confidence. The man scoffs and calls Lin Zi an ignorant brat who doesn't understand how strong his opponent truly is. A smug grin spreads across his face, underestimating Lin Zi's strength. Both sides finalize the agreement by signing a life and death contract. The man overseeing the match confirms the document and urges them to sign and stamp quickly. As soon as the contract is signed, the host loudly announces the start of the match. The man immediately commands his pet to take action and show some real strength. The creature charges forward aggressively. The beast leaps directly toward Rock Ghost, who swiftly evades the attack. The force of the landing smashes the floor beneath. Lin Zi observes the ongoing battle and analyzes the situation. He notes that Rock Ghost clearly has the speed advantage over the 4-armed beast. Meanwhile, Rock Ghost dashes forward in a blur, closing the distance in an instant. Seizing the opening, Rock Ghost leaps into the air and delivers a strong spinning kick straight into the 4-armed beast's head. The blow forces the beast's head back, but it quickly regains balance and steadies itself. Rock Ghost follows up aggressively, closing in with glowing red eyes and sharp focus. But this time, the 4-armed beast reacts quickly and catches Rock Ghost's leg mid-strike. The 4-armed beast grips Rock Ghost by the leg and suddenly swings him high into the air. Rock Ghost is unable to break free, caught completely off guard by the beast's raw power. With a brutal motion, the 4-armed beast hurls Rock Ghost across the arena. Rock Ghost crashes violently into the ground, creating a massive crater on impact. In the crowd, Lin Zi watches silently as someone nearby exclaims in shock, noting the incredible strength displayed. The man grins confidently and admits that while the 4-armed beast doesn't know any special skills, its raw power alone is enough to overwhelm many high-level pets. Lin Zi watches the field and realizes the rules of this battle heavily favor the 4-armed beast. Since skills aren't required, pure physical might becomes the deciding factor, something the beast excels in. He now understands why the opponent was so confident. The 4-armed beast raises its massive fists and prepares to strike again, its powerful arms swinging down with crushing force. Rock Ghost quickly retreats, narrowly evading the incoming blow. The beast grabs Rock Ghost again and prepares to deliver a powerful overhead smash. Its arms swing high above its head, aiming to crush its opponent without mercy. As the beast slams down, the ground trembles from the impact. Rock Ghost crashes hard into the arena floor, headfirst, as an explosive burst of debris and force shoots outward. Watching from outside the ring, the man crosses his arms and sneers. He mocks Lin Zi, sarcastically asking if that was all his pet was capable of. The crowd erupts in laughter and applause, impressed by the 4-armed beast's last strike. Guan looks on with concern, calling out, "Brother." Lin Zi calmly analyzes the situation, thinking that if skills were allowed, Rock Ghost in its spiritual state could easily ignore brute force attacks. However, under these rules that restrict skill use, raw power dominates, and that gives the four-armed beast an edge. As he reflects, Lindsay remembers that the last time Rock Ghost shifted forms was during a life-threatening situation. If what she said was true, and the transformation can be triggered again under pressure, then it's a gamble worth taking. Lindsay's golden eye glows as he steps forward, calling out to Rock Ghost. He asks if this is truly all it can do, commanding it to show him its full strength. Rock Ghost lies motionless on the ground, face buried in the cracked floor. Internally, it questions whether it always needs to rely on Snowgirl to determine victory and defeat. The four-armed beast moves in for another attack, its shadow looming over Rock Ghost. Suddenly, Rock Ghost's eye glows red. With a powerful punch, Rock Ghost strikes the four-armed beast directly in the chest. The impact explodes outward with force, shocking the beast mid-motion and turning the tide of the battle. Chunks of red armor shatter and fall from Rock Ghost's body as it initiates a transformation. Red mist swirls around Rock Ghost as it emerges fully transformed. A new system reveals its new stats. Speed tripled, defense completely dropped, and the transformation lasts for 60 seconds. It now moves like a true predator. Lindsay observes with satisfaction. He's impressed and confirms that the rocky armor can be detached at will, allowing Rock Ghost to adapt based on the situation. Without wasting a second, Rock Ghost leaps at full force toward the four-armed beast. The man smirks arrogantly, laughing at Rock Ghost and mocking it for not learning its lesson. He assumes the beast still holds the upper hand after the previous exchange. The four-armed beast prepares to strike again, but just as it moves, Rock Ghost suddenly vanishes, leaving only a red blur behind. The man's expression instantly shifts to shock. He panics, sweating as he shouts in confusion, completely unaware of what just happened. In a flash, Rock Ghost reappears behind the four-armed beast and lands a direct, explosive blow to its back. The four-armed beast desperately swings its fists, trying to catch Rock Ghost. Before the beast can react, Rock Ghost reappears behind it and slams a powerful kick directly into its lower back. With glowing red eyes and a wicked grin, Rock Ghost lunges in again. Punch after punch rains down on the four-armed beast. It tries to shield its head, overwhelmed and confused, while red impact marks scatter across its body. Lindsay sees the countdown reaching just 10 seconds and immediately shouts to Rock Ghost, urging him to stop playing around and finish the battle now. Rock Ghost launches high into the air and descends like a crimson meteor. Its body rotates mid-air, targeting the four-armed beast's exposed head. With full force, Rock Ghost smashes into the beast using a finishing move, Ghost Impact. The four-armed beast is sent flying and crashes onto the floor, completely wrecked and coughing blood. After delivering the final blow, Rock Ghost stands tall as its transformation ends. The ghost form fades, and its body begins reverting to its base state. On-screen text confirms the transformation has concluded. The man stares wide-eyed, frozen in disbelief. He mutters that this outcome is impossible, unable to accept what just happened in front of him. In the stands, the crowd erupts in shock. One person questions the situation, while another exclaims that even the four-armed beast was taken down. Another calls Rock Ghost terrifying and absolute monster. The judge walks into the arena and raises his hand, standing beside the unconscious beast. He announces the result clearly. The winner of the match is Rock Ghost. Lindsay stares blankly with lifeless eyes, his face drenched in sweat. He calls out in disbelief to Rock Ghost. The crowd is confused, questioning why the four-armed monster lost when it seemed strong. One person comments that the match wasn't dragged out, and another points out that the boy used a skill against the rules. The announcer loudly declares that the contestant's pet used a skill technique, which is a violation of the competition rules. A group discusses the situation. One of them notes that the transformation of the opponent's form was confirmed. Guan argues it was just a piece of armor falling off and shouldn't count as a skill, saying it's unfair. The man clenches his fist and angrily calls the boy a brat. He warns not to think he can easily take the money just by pulling a few tricks. Lindsay stands near his pet Rock Ghost and proposes a new idea. He agrees the pet battle result is a loss, but suggests a rematch, this time a physical fight between him and the opponent. If he wins, he demands the prize money. The man smirks darkly, surprised, and asks if Lin Zi really wants to fight him directly. The announcer, shocked, exclaims that Lin Zi is challenging him to a real-life duel. He announces Lin Zi's identity: former professional freestyle fighting champion, Xinggu. The crowd erupts in excitement, cheering for the fight. They demand to see a bloody showdown. The fighter grins at Lin Zi and says this match will be more entertaining than a pet battle. Both prepare to fight in the arena, facing each other. Rock Ghost lowers its head silently. Lin Zi tells Rock Ghost that it has already won. He gently taps its shoulder and says it's his turn now. Rock Ghost, startled by Lin Zi's words, reacts with wide eyes. The announcer speaks into the mic while the man nods with confidence. He praises Lin Zi, saying he's the first in history to dare challenge Xinggu directly, and admires his courage and resilience. With excitement, the announcer shouts that if Lin Zi manages to defeat Xinggu, he can still take the prize money and leave freely. The crowd cheers as Xinggu prepares to fight. Guan watches from behind the ropes. Lin Zi glances back and nods calmly. Xinggu powers up with a fierce grin, lunges toward Lin Zi, and shouts for him to come at him. He says they should enjoy the fight to the fullest. Outside at night, lights glow across the city skyline. Xinyi asking if she might be developing feelings for the boy. As Tanyong and Xinyi walk along the sidewalk, she firmly says she only sees him as a brother. Tanyong responds with frustration, questioning what makes him worse than that brat, and reminds her she barely knows him. Tanyong continues, saying he just doesn't want to see her get hurt. Xinyi folds her arms and replies sharply that she'll decide her own matters. She tells him to go back and rest early. Tanyong stands quietly behind her. Tanyong looks back and quietly says Xinyi's name while watching her from a distance near a building. While walking alone through a back alley, Tanyong clenches his fists and declares that he will surpass Lin Zi someday. He tells him to just wait. Suddenly, Tanyong hears a faint cry for help and turns his head, surprised. A girl, trembling and cornered by a dark, shadowy creature, desperately asks who will save her. Her white beast companion lies unconscious on the ground. A system identifies the monster as Fire Flame System, Stage 1, Rank 2. Tanyong charges in and delivers a powerful kick to the shadow monster, shouting for it to get lost. The shadowy beast is sent flying backward from the impact. Tanyong holds the girl in his arms and asks if she's alright. He scolds the monster, questioning where such a beast even came from. While cradling the girl, he looks up and notices someone standing on a rooftop under the moonlight. He mutters, wondering what kind of monster this world even holds. A hooded man descends rapidly from above, landing hard in front of Tanyong, the girl, and the defeated monster. Tanyong steps forward, demanding to know who the hooded man is and if that beast was his pet. The man questions the meaning of monsters and suggests that if beasts used by humans are considered good, then those that act independently are evil. He asks who made that definition. Tanyong stays cautious and asks what exactly the man is trying to say. The man explains that some beasts are born free and powerful, and only become aggressive after being hunted or manipulated by humans. Their nature is misunderstood due to isolation and fear. Tanyong cuts him off and prepares to attack. He declares that if the hooded man is the one who controlled the beast to harm humans, he won't allow him to continue. He summons a weapon mid-air while charging forward. The man stares calmly and asks if Tanyong is the one named Tanyong. Tanyong is surprised. The man asks if Tanyong knows his name, then mockingly suggests he surrender so he can be taken to the Beast Defense Association for punishment. The shadow monster watches silently with glowing red eyes. The man lowers his arm and calmly orders the beast to retreat. The monster immediately obeys and vanishes. He then steps forward and touches the red-horned wolf's forehead, releasing a glowing energy into its body. The white beast convulses violently as the energy spreads through it, triggering a powerful reaction and causing the creature to cry out in pain. A glowing red orb pulses with energy as the beast's transformation intensifies. The wolf suddenly rises with overwhelming power, surprising everyone present. The man admits he originally intended to seek them out, but since Tanyang showed up on his own, it saves him the effort. He now plans to test Tanyang's usefulness. Tanyang watches the beast cautiously as it radiates with uncontrollable power. The beast finishes its transformation, now towering with overwhelming energy. Its eyes glow fiercely as it snarls at the figures ahead. Tanyang and the summoned shadow stare up in shock, bracing for the clash. The announcer telling another to teach the boy a lesson. Another orders Barebone to show him his strength. Xinyi stands behind them, watching. Xinyi looks ahead with a surprised expression. Linzi turns around abruptly after noticing something. Xinyi cupped her hands and shouted loudly for Linzi, telling him to go for it. Standing beside her, Guan also cheered him on, her fists clenched as she leaned forward with anticipation. Both kept their eyes fixed on the fight. Shenggu stepped into the spotlight, his muscular body exuding power. With pride, he spoke of his past victories, winning the Freestyle Wrestling Championship in Jeonan City in 3241, then defeating Thunder Dragon in the Cherry Blossom Cup in 3243. He continued explaining how he went on to secure the Liaoning Freestyle Wrestling Championship for 3 consecutive years. His title, Steel Muscle Machine, was a testament to his strength and dominance in the ring. Linzi studied him calmly, analyzing his opponent's capability. He knew an average person's physical quality ranged between 2 and 4, but Shenggu's was in the 4 to 8 range, far stronger than the usual challenger. Shenggu smirked, thinking to himself that most people who heard about his achievements would be trembling in fear, yet this boy, Linzi, remained completely unfazed. He grinned and told Linzi that to avoid being accused of bullying, he would let him land a punch first. Taunting him further, he pointed at himself and told him to come and hit him. The announcer on the side advised Linzi to make the first move since Shenggu was giving him the chance, but warned him to be careful not to break the bones in his own hand. Shenggu confidently called for everyone to watch as he prepared himself. Linzi, looking up at him, calmly stated that in that case, he would not hold back. Linzi's fist connected with brutal force, smashing into Shenggu's face and drawing blood instantly. The blow sent Shenggu flying backward, his body arching through the air as the force of the strike radiated outward. He crashed violently into the ground, the shockwave knocking nearby spectators off balance and scattering them in surprise. Lying on the floor with a swollen, reddened cheek, Shenggu's eyes went wide in shock, unable to comprehend what had just happened. The announcer stood frozen for a moment before shouting in shock, demanding to know what had just happened. He exclaimed in disbelief that Shenggu had been defeated with a single punch. Meanwhile, Xinyi and Guan beamed with excitement, raising their hands for a celebratory high five after witnessing Linzi's victory. They locked eyes for a brief second, but quickly shifted to an awkward silence. Both turned their heads away from each other, crossing their arms with exaggerated expressions. The announcer suddenly raised his hand and stopped everything, saying that since he hadn't officially announced the start of the match, Linzi's attack was technically against the rules. Therefore, the winner of this round should be. Linzi's narrowed his gaze and questioning the announcer's words. Realizing the tension, the announcer quickly broke into a nervous smile, admitting his mistake and clarifying that Linzi had not violated any rules. With a loud and clear declaration, he announced Linzi as the winner, the crowd's attention drawn to Linzi standing confidently. Linzi checked his phone and saw the transfer of 50,000, thinking to himself that now he had enough money to stay at a hotel. From a distance, Guan called out to her brother, and Xinyi cheerfully shouted Linzi's name. Linzi turned toward them and asked what was going on. Xinyi approached him with a smile, praising his performance and saying she hadn't expected him to actually defeat Shenggu. Guan, however, spoke more reservedly, saying that it seemed they weren't very familiar with him yet. Xinyi reminded Guan not to forget that they had already formed a team, and with a playful smile, she pointed out that this meant they were teammates. She added that since they would also be classmates in the future, it was better to reintroduce themselves properly. Xinyi then introduced herself as Guo Xinyi and politely asked for his guidance going forward. Guan puffed her cheeks in annoyance, clearly not pleased with the situation. Lindsay looked at her with mild curiosity and asked what she was doing here. Xinyi explained that she was there to help Lindsay awaken his exclusive soul power. Hearing this, Lindsay looked at her curiously and repeated, "Exclusive soul power?" She confidently added that if they considered her a friend, she could assist them further in the future. Lindsay suggested they find a quiet place to talk, not wanting to discuss such matters in public. An exterior of a building, inside for a more private conversation. Xinyi and Guan sat on opposite sides of the bed, with a clear line dividing them. Guan silently wondered why it felt like they had just checked into a hotel together. Lindsay entered the room and told them to begin. Xinyi responded with a quick "all right" and prepared to start. Xinyi explained that her exclusive soul power was called perception. She described how, even at the age of 7, she could sense information that was extremely difficult for ordinary people to detect, such as a person's aura, location, and even events that might happen in the future. Guan's eyes widened in surprise, and she praised Xinyi's ability as amazing. Impressed by how powerful it was, Xinyi smiled modestly in response. Lindsay asked Xinyi how exactly she planned to help them. Xinyi looked at him seriously and told him to close his eyes. Without hesitation, Lindsay complied, shutting his eyes as instructed. Xinyi then leaned in close to him, bringing her forehead toward his. Guan quickly called out, questioning what they were doing. Xinyi calmly explained that this was the only way she could sense Lindsay's abilities and guide his training in the right direction. She pouted, clearly reluctant, but eventually gave in, saying she would trust Xinyi just this once. Xinyi closed her eyes, telling herself to focus her mind, though she could feel her heart racing faster than usual. Her eyes opened with a glow, revealing a swirling, colorful light as she activated her perception ability. A glowing blue figure appeared in Xinyi's perception, radiating intense energy. Xinyi told Lindsay she saw a strange pet. It didn't look like his rock pet Yangui, nor like the other pet Zunu. She explained that it seemed more like a fusion state between them, their powers combined into a single entity. The boy asks about fusion, and the girl confirms it. She explains that her constitution isn't strong enough yet, so she can only sense vague information. Then she tells him it's his turn. Another girl hesitates, questioning if it really has to be forehead to forehead. The first girl insists, saying the hidden potential inside can only be sensed that way, calling her little sister. She closes her eyes, focusing deeply. Suddenly, her eyes glow with a radiant light as her vision sharpens. She sees countless silhouettes drifting in a vast, swirling space. Shock hits her when a dark, horned figure with glowing eyes emerges from the chaos. She suddenly reacts in pain, making the other girl rush to ask what she saw. She hesitates, then answers that it was nothing but black shadows, suggesting her potential hasn't fully manifested and may need more training. The girl with pink hair, however, thinks to herself that no matter what those shadows were, she has a bad feeling about them. Deciding not to mention it, she keeps quiet while the clock ticks late into the night. Realizing how late it has become, she complains about having nowhere to go and worries about meeting bad people outside. Acting cute, she asks to stay the night. The boy hesitates, but she quickly celebrates, thanking them for letting her stay. That night, the three of them end up sharing the same bed. The two girls lie on either side, pretending to sleep, while the boy stays stiff and uneasy. One girl secretly peeks at him, making him break into a nervous, awkward smile. The boy reflects on fusion, realizing it's time for Rock Ghost and Snow Maiden to truly get along. He thinks about activating their exclusive soul technique as soon as possible. 10 days later, the Academy holds its entrance ceremony, and excitement fills the halls as students rush to see the newly posted class placements. During the announcement of class placements, Lin Z searches for his name and finds himself in Class 1. His friend excitedly points out that they'll be in the same class again, and they both celebrate. Soon after, the pink-haired girl joins in with a cheerful smile, revealing that she's also in Class 1. Zinni stays quiet while the others talk, when suddenly a familiar voice calls her name. Shocked, she turns to see Tan Yang, badly injured and covered in bandages. She quickly asks if he got into another fight. Tan Yang explains that he ran into some troublesome people. Tan Yang discovers he has been placed in Class 2. Accepting it as fate, he calls it a good thing. Elsewhere, another student is relieved not to share the same class with him, admitting that otherwise he might not be able to resist killing him. His companion, however, mutters that he seriously wants to hit him even now. The group celebrates passing their placements. One girl happily announces they made it too, though only classes 1 and 2 are considered elite. Still, she's proud they worked hard enough to barely pass the threshold. They thank Guan Ning for helping with training, while the scene shifts to a stage where someone begins addressing the new students. The new homeroom teacher introduces himself to Class 1, explaining that he will guide their cultivation for the next 3 years. He tells them attending classes is optional, but cultivation must never stop. Periodic evaluations will be held, and those who fail will be moved to regular classes. He adds that the top 3 scorers in each evaluation will earn a scholarship of 100,000 yuan. The students are surprised by the generous reward, and one notes that just 2 wins could be enough to afford a high-grade contracted beast. The teacher explains that while the Academy offers many clubs and cultivation programs, there is one mandatory course: virtual combat. Behind the teaching building lies a massive virtual combat hall capable of hosting thousands of students. Through these battles, students gain real combat experience and can strengthen both themselves and their beasts. Rankings bring not only rewards, but also determine placement tiers across the Beastmaster Federation. Hearing this, Lin Z resolves to quickly upgrade Rock Ghost so it can match Snow Maiden's level. Lin Z places Rock Ghost and Snow Maiden before him, commanding them to fuse. The attempt, however, fails immediately due to a level mismatch, leaving both beasts standing awkwardly in silence.
This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.